flex, fresh, 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 flex, fresh, fresh, Helmets, left, Kabit Cafe, left.
You can hold on. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't slave because I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need, and that's it. They always in my business because they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible, but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit, activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way? So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You can
Hold
on. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved because I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need, and that's it. They always in my business because they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible, but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit, activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way? So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hi. Oh my goodness. I was about to go lay down because I've been editing videos all day. Hello everyone. Welcome to your boy The Shine Everywhere Show. I've been editing all day. I went to the gym and I came back and showered and straight to editing, like literally all day. So I have a new video done on Shanquella. I was going to premiere that tonight, but I'm just like, oh, we'll do that tomorrow. And we'll just go live about this whole Tory and Meg thing. So yeah, so I do have a video about Shanquella. Instead of going live, I'm like, because there's not like a bunch of new updates with it. So I collectively put it together in a video. I think you guys will like it. And I will premiere that tomorrow. But until then, let's get messy. Hashtag justice for Shanquella. And I think we need to start just hashtagging justice for Megan the Pegasus, because Megasus still deserves justice, okay? She may be a skank. She may be a little evil. She may be one of the most horrible friends on earth. Maybe, okay? But she was injured. Somebody did that to her, and she deserves justice just like anybody else. It's not fair what's going on right now in court. So we're going to break that down a little bit. We're going to start with Lawyer for Workers. We're going to start with him, just a little bit of the things that he said, and then I'm going to read a bunch of stuff, and then we're going to go from there. We're, smooth sailing. So make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the like. Sit back and relax. There's a lot of information that I want to divulge. Kelsey, she's done testifying today. Was her last day. She's off the stand as of now. I saw, shout out to Conscious TV. I was over there watching him and a few other people. I think Tierra Latrice, shout out to her. There's a few other people too that I was watching their coverage, and I was on IG in and out all day when I wasn't editing. So it was really hard to get a bunch of information on it. So I just went and did a deep dive. Once I got done editing, I'm just gonna go suck up everything that happened today. So we're pretty much just gonna stick to that, to what happened today, a little bit about what's happened prior, just because there's a lot. There's a lot. So I don't like to overwhelm my audience, because I have been getting overwhelmed with this topic. I'm like, look, you just need to sit down and drink it in and then go forward and talk about it instead of doing both at the same time. So Kelsey Nicole, in my title, I say she gets her revenge on Megan, and she definitely did, with lying on her, and did Tory Lanez bribe Kelsey. Now, I bring those things up because those are valid questions. A valid question, I should say, with the did Tory bribe Kelsey? Now, we learned when Kelsey first testified that she was granted immunity. Now, with the immunity that she was granted, it was limited immunity. Okay, so it's not like she's immune from any charge or crime that is listed, pretty much like on display. It means that, but it don't mean that. So it means that you are immune to certain things, but you can't go forward line because that's still perjury. So don't go out, don't, besides this case, anything that you may be incriminated, like to incriminate you with this case, you're immune to that. Okay, you ain't really got to worry about no repercussions, coming from this. But what a lot of people I feel aren't explaining, well, I would say a lot of people that I've watched haven't necessarily explained, is why Kelsey got the immunity in the first place. Now, this trial was always going to happen. It got pushed back a couple times, or a few times. It got pushed back, but it was always something that was going to happen. Always for a foreseeable future, there's going to be a trial about what happened to Megan Thee Stallion, right? Kelsey never said anything to the prosecutors up until this year, okay? So in September of this year, Kelsey went and sat down with the prosecutors and told them certain things. A lot of those things incriminated Tory Lanez. And Tory Lanez was basically the person that did this. Information we didn't even know, such as Tory Lanez physically assaulted Kelsey. We didn't know that. We didn't know that he put his hands on her, drug her out of the vehicle by her hair, or we knew none of that stuff. We all thought that it was just between Megan and Tory, the physical part. Like, we didn't think that Tory was actually out there putting hands on people allegedly. We didn't know any of that. And this is when Kelsey sat down with the prosecutors in September and divulged that information. She also divulged in September that Tory threatened to pow her as well. And when he threatened to do so was when after Tory powed allegedly Megan, after that, he threatened both of them with said weapon to get back into the vehicle. But he also threatened Chelsea that he would pop her too, allegedly. Now, this was all said by Kelsey in September of 2022. So this September that just passed, Kelsey went and sat down and said all this, right? During the time of Kelsey sitting there with the prosecution and whatnot, and law enforcement, and letting them know what allegedly happened, she brought her husband with her. And I didn't know that she was married, but I guess she's married. And I knew she had a baby by a man, but I didn't know that was her husband, her whatever. So he was present during said conversation. So I want that to be out there, okay? So before that, and remember, when Kelsey went and sat down with the prosecution and law enforcement and told them her of what happened, she took pictures. They took pictures of like her head. Well, I don't know if they took pictures. I believe she did, but they may have. I don't know. But she took pictures of her injuries, what happened with her head, the bruising on the side of her body, all of that stuff. She took pictures of all of that, and she was blaming Tory for it. She never said Megan did anything to her. She never said that her and Megan got into a physical altercation to her putting hands on each other. She didn't say that. She said Tory did that to her. Physically put his hands on her and dragged her by her hair is what happened, right? And they even have text messages that she turned in at that time of Kelsey talking to Megan via text message, talking about the incident and about what Tory did to her, and that asking Megan if she should go to urgent care for what Tory did, and at that time in 2020. So with that being said, okay, that's a lot. I'm just trying to keep y'all so we can get into the immunity part, because I hear a lot of people talking about Kelsey's immunity and they're not stating why, and they're not even necessarily stating why they think, she got immunity. Again, in September, when Kelsey went and sat down and had this conversation, she had no immunity, okay? The day of her coming to testify against Tory was the day Kelsey was granted immunity, limited immunity, okay? So with the immunity that Kelsey was granted, I don't feel that the immunity that she was requesting it because she popped Megan. Because that's what a lot of people I feel are feeling. Like she got the immunity because she actually did it. Even us, because we did a live about it yesterday. So we feel like, okay, well, did she do this? Is she the one who actually, popped Meg? And so that's why she wanted to be, because she doesn't want to incriminate herself, because she could, in some way, shape, or form, with her testimony, will imply, herself to be maybe a part of something that, again, don't look too good. So with them granting her immunity, now remember, the prosecutors and whatnot, the defense team, all of that, they allowed Kelsey to have the immunity. That they allowed it, right? So she gets the immunity. After she gets it, now they gave Kelsey, now this is a point that I feel like people are overlooking. The prosecution team gave Kelsey the immunity because of, remember, what she said in September. Kelsey was the prosecution's star witness. They got Megan's account, and then we're going to have what Kelsey's going to come in here and say, what she already said here in an 80-minute interview, and explain to us what happened. So why wouldn't they give her immunity when she's their star witness? What they didn't know is that Kelsey was going to go in there and flip the whole script. Okay, so the prosecution team is thinking when Kelsey goes in here, she's going to repeat what she told us in September. She did not. She didn't. Okay, she went in there, I don't remember, pleading the fifth, all of that. So the prosecution is confused because they're like, okay, well, wait a minute. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. That's why they keep, if you pay attention today, they have to keep reminding Kelsey, like, your immunity only goes so far, right? You know that, right? Because you're trying it. Because you're not saying what you said in September. Why? 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 If Kelsey went and sat down, this is where my question did Tory Lanez bribe her. If Kelsey goes and sits down with the prosecution and law enforcement in September, this is her story. Tory did it. Tory threatened me. He hurt me. He physically assaulted me. All of that, right? Then it's time December to go to court, and you go in there, flip the whole script. I feel like between September and now, Tory contacted Kelsey and he paid her. Like I even Megan's defense team is feeling the same way. Like there had to, I don't know if she was bribed, threatened, we don't know, but because she was supposed to be the prosecution's star witness. And she got up there and flipped the whole script. So her immunity is not because, in my opinion, I don't feel that her immunity is because she popped Kelsey. I mean, because she popped Megan. No. In my opinion, I believe that she got the immunity because Tory did it. Tory did it. So her immunity is for her testimony, well, not necessarily testimony, but her interview that she did in September. I need immunity, and the prosecution team is thinking from this case. And she, just give it to me. I'll testify if I can get this immunity. Like nothing can happen to me. Like I no incrimination, anything like that. So they give her the immunity, and she goes in there and wipes it in their face. Wipes the immunity in their face because allegedly Tory did it. Is what is giving. Tory did it. So she's not protecting herself because she popped Megan. She don't care. She was paid, so she's not about to come in here and blame it on Tory. So it doesn't matter if Tory's defense team blames it on Kelsey. Doesn't matter to her because she's not on trial. She is not on trial here. Tory is. So he can go blame it on Kelsey. So what? Because they are having a hard time right now with Megan's testimony at this point. They're having a hard time right now even stating that Tory did it. And then with her, Kelsey coming up there and saying that she doesn't recall, she doesn't know, she heard it, but she wasn't necessarily present, and whatnot, that leaves reasonable doubt. A lot of it. A lot of reasonable doubt, within that moment in time. And again, Kelsey's not on trial. Tory is. So it doesn't matter if Tory's defense team come and state somebody that may have done it that isn't on trial. She ain't on trial. Just like they got to prove Tory did it, they got to prove Kelsey did it. Besides Megan or Kelsey, who's going to prove such thing? I mean, who's going to be able to prove that? It's going to be hard. to do, because Kelsey was supposed to come in there on Megan's side and not deliberate because of protection instead of getting up there lying, because she got up there and lied from that phone call, not phone call, recorded interview that she did with the prosecution team. Kelsey got up there. Now, she didn't, no, I'm not going to say she said a blatant lie when she got up there. No, it was a lot of amnesia. I don't remember, and pleading the fifth. Not, no, this didn't happen. No, this person didn't do this. No, she's leaving a bunch of doubt. It could have been anybody. Like, well, okay, well, who actually did it? If she didn't see it, if she can't name the person, that did it, Megan was intoxicated. So we can't literally, yes, omitting, doing a lot of omitting, a lot of omitting. So it's just like her immunity protects her from what I'm gathering. I don't know, because again, it does not protect her from perjury, but her stating that she doesn't remember, she doesn't know, that's not perjuring yourself. That's not saying no to something that you already stated. Now that can be taken as perjury, but she's not perjuring herself by saying, I don't remember. I don't know. I heard it, but I didn't see it. I was told it was glass. All of that, those are facts, because it was, when the information first came out, it was stated that it was glass. And Kelsey was not allowed to go upstairs in the hospital with Megan. So since she wasn't allowed to go up there, the streets is saying that it was glass. It is what it is. So it's not her like literally lying. It's just more so of her playing dumb. Playing as if, I don't remember, I don't recall, I can't. So that's not perjury, like literally within itself. I mean, Tasha K perjured herself plenty of times. She ain't incarcerated nowhere. She literally got on stand and said she lied about when she was on the stand. So, I mean, she said her husband was lying, all of that. She free. I'm just saying, like, she free. So, then she lied a lot to the judge, the jury, Carter, they can't lie. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, again, with Kelsey, can it be, is it perjury if she's stating that she doesn't remember? Because again, I don't believe that she did it. I think that Tory did. I think Tory did it and she's protecting Tory. Because that's, again, what reason would she have to just not tell the truth and get up there and say what she said in that interview? There has to be some motive behind it. That's why the defense team is stating bribery, threats, all of that against her. There is a reason behind that, because that makes no sense. We just talked to you in September, the prosecution team and law enforcement, and you stated this stuff happened, that Tory hit you, all of that stuff, and that he threatened you after he did what he did to Megan, and still have the weapon in his hands, told y'all to get inside of the vehicle. You said all of this stuff, about Tory and whatnot. And then you get on this stand and said that you lied about those things. That's why she wanted the immunity, because she got up there and stated on that stand that she lied about the interview that she had with the prosecution, with the prosecution and law enforcement. She said, I lied about that. I lied about that. I wasn't telling the truth. And they were like, well, why? Why would you lie? And she says, because out of protecting herself, that she didn't want to incriminate herself, that she didn't want to be involved with what was going on. She didn't want to get, she was scared, is what she was saying. And then she also states that the prosecution was pressuring her to state certain things. So, the prosecution, like, what? You willingly sat down and said these things, like it's recorded. We didn't pressure you at any moment in time, and your husband was there. Like, what are you talking about? Now we pressured you? When this happened? Can anybody, your husband said he never said anything about you being pressured or nothing. And she had a lawyer present during that time too. So it's just like, girl, then you get up here, you don't remember nothing, all of that. Kelsey did that prosecution team dirty. She did them dirty. She went and taught them, I don't even know, because I feel like, because if you said all this stuff about Tory in September, in the September that just passed, then obviously I feel like Kelsey was telling the truth. And that's just how I feel. Because she didn't change her story until December. They just recently talked to her. It's not like they talked to her in September 2020 and she said this, and now she's coming to court with a different tune. I mean, things do change. I mean, so possible, but with months, what changed? You know, that now all of a sudden you coming in here and you telling us that you don't remember. What? Shaggy? So it's like they're very confused. And I would have been too, because I'm still confused. I'm just like, well, you did say all of these things, so why now? Why now? Why now? Why in December is it the complete opposite? You don't remember all of that. It does make sense of bribery, because they asked Kelsey on the stand if she was afraid of Tory, and she stated no. So you're not afraid of the person that pulled your ponytail out, drug you out of the car, threatened you with a weapon? You're not afraid of this guy? Why not? Why aren't you? Should be. You should be. But you ain't scared of him? They questioned Kelsey. Did you pop Meg? No. I didn't do it. So she didn't do it. Clearly Tory did, but she doesn't have to say it, because her job is to make sure that Tory gets off. Like, as long as I don't make him the pop power, that's all that matters. And I feel like that was told to Kelsey. You know, when you get up there, do this, say that, that's what I have to do a lot of recesses and whatnot, because I even believe that she may have even blindsided her attorney. Honestly, I think that that plan came from somewhere else. I don't think that plan came from Kelsey's attorney, which it should have, because again, that's her counsel. That feels like an op type of counsel that she got. When questioned, Kelsey, did Tory offer to pay for your lawyer services? She said that she can remember, and then she said yes, and then they asked her, is he paying for her current attorney? And she said that she doesn't recall, she doesn't remember. What? So he paying for your attorney right now? What else is he paying for? What else is he paying for? Because it's given because she didn't say no. She didn't say no. He's like, how do you not know who's paying for your attorney? How do you not know that? It's you have to pay that person. Who gave this person their retainer? Did you give it to him? No. Okay, well then who did? Because you would have to know. You know who get. Now you don't even know how this person came into your life. So they just showed up and just like, oh, I'm your lawyer, open the door. And you just did? Like what is going on here? So again, the immunity to me that Kelsey got was more so for that interview that she had just did. So that she could, because that's why Kelsey was the star witness, because of the interview that she had with prosecution and the attorneys. And then she comes in and they are the ones who granted her that immunity. Had no idea that she was going to go in there and sit down and flip the whole script. I think she even blindsided her attorney. She blindsided everybody. That's why they have to keep doing recesses, because why have to do these recesses if your attorney has already counseled you on these things? These are, things that you should already know. That you're not going to know every question that's going to come your way, but the majority, you will. You're coached before you even go on the stand, especially if you're going to be on the stand for a fact. That's something you practice with your attorneys, because there's going to be all type of curveballs and stuff like that. It feels like, Kelsey, did you just get him that morning, or was that the same attorney that was with you in September when you went? I'm confused. It's like, well, how long have you had this attorney? And did you have this attorney since September? Because why would that same attorney go sit with you to make these allegations against Tory if you're just going to come in here in this courtroom and state that you lied about them all? That doesn't make any sense. What is Kelsey get? Because I get the emotional thing, what Megan did to her and whatnot, but I feel like all of them are over it. I mean, is there still some there? Yes. On all of their ends. I think that there's still, but I don't think that it's about that anymore. I think it's about money. Because at the end of the day, she's no longer friends with Meg or anything like that. To secure a bag, the only way to be able to secure one is through Tory. And Tory offered, allegedly, which was brought up in court as well, about Tory offering Megan and Kelsey $1 million to keep this on the hush, to not speak of it or, you know, say certain things. And Kelsey said on stand that the money was not for a pow-powing. Like, she said it wasn't for that, but it was offered. She did agree that he did offer her money. Okay, well, did he give you the double bubble? Since Megan said no, did he give you her half too? Did you get double bubble? I'm confused because Megan said no. Although I do think Megan was contemplating it, because she the one who came forward talking about she was protecting a Black man. Was you protecting a Black man, Meg, or was you considering the money Tory was offering you? Here nor there. But again, she ended up declining the money, and with the decline of said money, did Tory offer that amount to Kelsey as well? So instead of $1 million, did it turn into $2 million? And a business, or, you know, something like that? Because he was asking her if she needed any investments in any of the companies that she had established or wanted to. You know, is there anything that, you know, I could do for you, you know, but pay for any business you trying to get off the ground, but you need financial assistance, somebody to invest? Can I do that for you? And there's text messages of it. So again, it's giving bribe. It honestly, like, if I'm just gonna keep it real, it's giving bribe. But let's get into lawyers for workers. If y'all want me to drop the link and y'all want to sound off after we get the rest of this tea out about this situation, what happened today, I definitely will. Y'all can definitely sound off if you like. You can definitely come and get your issue. You definitely can. I wasn't there, neither were you. I just did a live yesterday stating that Kelsey was the power. Where were you? I was calling Kelsey the power yesterday. You weren't in here calling me biased. That's weird. Ooh, that's weird. Ooh, that's weird. You weren't in here yesterday. You weren't in here calling me biased yesterday. You was in here. Yeah. Anybody but, so that you're biased. Like, that's what's giving bias. I'm keeping an open mind. Again, I get nothing out of this. I wonder what you get. Here, Flip. We got to stop acting like we are these people. We're not. I'm not Megan. I'm not Tory. I'm not Kelsey. And neither are you. So, bias. Okay, sweetie. Okay, girl. Let's get into lawyers for work.
We had the doctor testify. The idea that these are not bullet fragments in her foot, that's done. Forget about it. Those are bullet fragments. Every single person on that jury, if you ask me, believes that it was bullet fragments. How did they get there? That's the question. Kelsey took the stand. He was asked by the prosecutors, I don't know what the prosecutors were doing. If you ask me, it was a fumble this morning, because they dealt with a witness who was hostile, not answering their questions, saying that she lied to them about all these statements where she incriminated Tory. And then that fumble was picked up on cross-examination. And the defense attorney looks like he's on his way to the house. The defense attorney starts with the immunity piece. Okay, you've got immunity. You're only testifying once you got the immunity. Understood. Then the defense attorney goes into this idea that she's been paid off. And he does a great job of establishing the fact that she never made any statements to prosecutors in all of 2020, all of 2021. This happened in 2020.
So Kelsey never said anything to prosecution. And so Kelsey came to prosecution. They weren't looking for her. None of that. Kelsey came to them. Kelsey willingly wouldn't sit down with them, because she could have did it. They could have came for her in 2020. The prosecution could have came for her in 2021. They could have came for and talked to her at any moment in time. They didn't. So again, with her coming there and talking to prosecution, the bribe like that. This is because why did you change your story? Like, why is your story different? Why? They would have never. Prosecution would have never even had her listed as the type of witness that she were, or put as much credibility on her, if they would have thought that she was going to come in there and say that she was lying to them within that moment in time. In September, if they felt in September that she was lying to them or that she was not credible, they would not have had her be one of their star witnesses. They would not have. They couldn't wait to bring Kelsey up there. after Megan. That's why they brought Megan first. It's kind of like domino effect. Let's put the nails, you know, Megan was the coffin and Kelsey was going to be the nails, you know, basically. And then Kelsey went up there and flipped the whole script. Thunderclaw says it sounds like Kelsey was asking if Meg was okay at the end of the arrest, video. And she absolutely was. And she was getting close to her. So that's why I was confused when Kelsey said that she didn't see any blood. Like, how could you not? It was a significant amount of blood inside of the SUV. And not only that, when Megan was hopping, it was literally blood dripping from her foot while Kelsey was asking Megan continuously, are you okay? Even while Kelsey was on the ground being arrested, because all of them had to get on the ground, all of them, except for Megan. They made Megan sit to the side. But Kelsey and Tory and the bodyguard or driver, whatever you want to call them, they were all laid out on the ground in the middle of the street, basically, and cuffed. All of them were cuffed except for Megan. So while that was happening, Kelsey was saying, are you okay? She was even saying it before they arrested her. While Megan was hopping, Kelsey was trying to, you know, console her, comfort her within that time. And I think that Megan was upset with the both of them, you know, a little drunk, well, not a little drunk, a lot of drunk, and just didn't want to be near neither one of them within that moment. So again, I do feel that Kelsey overlooked what they had went through prior. I was like, I don't even care what you did with Tory. I don't care. Are you okay? Like, you're my friend, you're injured. Are you okay? Like, what happened to you should not have just happened to you. I'm worried, you know, about you is what it was giving. So yeah, I would, yeah, if you all go back and look at that TMZ video of the helicopter video and whatnot, you can hear Kelsey stating to Megan, are you okay? She definitely was. So that's a good point, Thundercloud, because she did. She came clout chasing, trying to be seen and relevant. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? But let's keep listening to lawyers for workers.
She only made a statement to prosecutors in September 2022, and the prosecutors are using all this evidence of alleged bribes. That stuff was years ago. So why would she have taken money years ago and then September 2022 not done what she's supposed to do when you take the money, which is lie for Tory? And to be sure, that's like the first 3 minutes of cross, because then we go into gunshot residue. You knew before you sat down.
Okay, someone just says in chat, Megan and Kelsey did fight. The witness, two witnesses, said it already. Two women fight, and the G flash was closer to the woman that was fighting, and then he's seen two men breaking it up. Okay. All right. Now I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. But I did see in the transcripts that that was said. The reason why I said I don't know about all that is because of this. There was multiple times that the vehicle had stopped. It didn't stop one time. Okay, it stopped multiple times before the pow-powing was heard. So that eyewitness, that's what I'm saying. I was kind of confused by them in the transcripts. I was confused because it's like, okay, well, when did that happen? Because all of it didn't happen on the same block. All of it did not. They stopped multiple times. It wasn't just once that they had stopped the vehicle. Because when they stopped the vehicle the first time, that's when I believe the whole situation came out about Tory, what he did with Megan. Then they got out and Megan and Kelsey were fighting. That's what the eyewitness had testified to. But Tory got them back into the vehicle. And then after that, because remember, Megan, you know, was walking, rather it was, I don't know, because Megan first she said it was the front of the car, then she said it was the back of the car. I think back of the car, she said it was the front of the car. So that means again that they were still in the vehicle again, so that it had to have taken off because the eyewitness didn't state that. Why didn't he state that they got back into the vehicle? You know, when he said that they got back into the vehicle after the flash, that wouldn't make sense because at that point in time, there was no flash. There wasn't a flash yet. So that happened afterwards. So like when they got further down, a couple more blocks down, then that happened. That's why there were two calls to the police. The first one was about the altercation, and then the second call was about gunshots. So it would have been all in that one first phone call to the police, in my opinion. I saw girls outside fighting with some dudes and whatnot, breaking it up. I saw somebody had a gun, a weapon, and flash, blah, 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 gunshot, da, da, da. That wasn't that. No, the first police call was there was an altercation, like fight. Nothing about a gun, nothing about a gunshot, none of that. None of that brought up. So that's why I said this eyewitness is very confusing, because I'm like, well, that doesn't add up. And I also believe that's why the prosecution nor a defense team has has had either one of subpoenaed or had either eyewitness testify, because their stories just didn't make sense. It was dark outside. So again, you can't identify who did what, because if you say female, Megan's a female too. So when you say flash went off, was the flash because of Megan or was the flash before Kelsey? You know, so I mean, that's the thing. It's doubt. It's too much doubt within that story, because it's easy. Somebody can say that Kelsey had the gun and she was the reason the flash went off. They can say the same thing about Megan. It's dark. They didn't express the light-skinned girl or the dark-skinned girl or the one with the ponytail or the one with the this or the one that had the. They couldn't specify any of that. So again, that wouldn't make sense. So that's why I feel like they're not testifying. With the security guard or driver, I don't know if he's testifying. I have no idea. But because a lot of people are questioning that too, like, why isn't he testifying? I think that's a great question. He should definitely be testifying. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't, you know, the witness accounts don't necessarily add up. It make a little sense, but it don't add up. You know, it's like, is the witness being messy or just stating what they've seen? You know, I don't know. So, but I get what you're saying though. I'm not going to hold you. I'm definitely not. So, shooting from the back. Shooting from the back. I'm here at work. Hi, Slay. Hi, sweetie. Moderator. Yes. So yeah, Megan did say that she was walking off when it happened. Yeah. So again, I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I know. I don't. I mean, I'm gonna take everything into consideration. But again, I understand why the witnesses why they did not testify.
With the police officers and gave your testimony that you had gunshot residue on you. Isn't that correct? She said, yes. Defense attorney came back and he used the prosecution's own questions against them. The prosecution had asked, hey, why'd you lie to us? Kelsey said, pressure. Defense attorney, where was the pressure from? Was it from Tory? Nope. Was it from anyone on Tory's team? Nope. Was it from the defense team? Nope. Was it from the prosecution? Yes. That type of sequence of questioning sits in a person's mind and goes, gee, I'm in a courtroom of law. It certainly seems like one side is winning. A lot more happened this morning.
Okay, so we're going to get into part 2 of that. Sean, do you think we're going into 2023 with this case? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Quench your life, so Meg is to blame for it all. He telling everything. I feel that Meg, again, none of that matters that she slept with Tory. I don't care. Okay? The girl was popped. At the end of the day, somebody need to pay for that. Megan is a victim in that, right? And that's why I said I kind of feel bad for her, because it doesn't matter. Honestly, I get it. Like, that, what she did to Kelsey was dirty. Like, it was. Like, I mean, you can't sugarcoat that. But it doesn't excuse what happened to her. And it also doesn't excuse Kelsey to get up there on that stand, especially stating these things that Tory allegedly did to her that same night, putting his hands on her, all of that. And then you still basically protect this person within this instant. Megan was still hurt. She still was. This is a hell of a get back, Kelsey. You are a completely different type of evil. Because if Tory did this, then you should have simply just stated that he did it instead of adding more chaos and confusion to this situation. We get you and Megan ain't friends no more. We get how she did you was salty. She should not have, again, horrible friend, all of that. But at the end of the day, that girl did not deserve that. She didn't. Just like if Tory put his hands on you, Kelsey, you didn't deserve that. If he threatened you, you didn't deserve none of that. You didn't. Megan going around doing you dirty even after all of this happened, and she's sending shots and coming at you and say, oh well, because you did it too. You did it too. You made songs. You weren't even an artist, and you made songs and all of that, girl. You got your get backs. You got them. The dude she's sleeping with is a part of 1501, a producer from over there. 1501. We're calling her Kelsey. You got your get back. You start messing with that man for certain reasons. Ain't nobody stupid. Like, girl, you got your get back. That's disgusting. If that, you know what happened. You do. And you said that you didn't do it. So if you didn't do it, who did? You already know who did it because you said it in September. Like, that's crazy to me. Crazy. And now Tory team setting it up to make it look like Kelsey did it. That makes sense. It absolutely does. They can't point the blame on Megan because she didn't do it. Megan didn't do that to herself. She did not. She did not. She didn't. And then people trying to make it seem like that's like a literal motive. If Kelsey, because at that point in time, Tory was not the first dude that Megan did that to her about, like sleeping behind her back with a dude. Okay? So they didn't already been down that road before. They've already been there. Did Kelsey pop Megan? No, she didn't. So why would she have pop Megan with this situation with Tory? If they had already been through this before? No. Megan and Kelsey, when Tory told Megan what was up, I believe when they pulled that car over, they got out that car and Megan woke Kelsey ass out. That's how I feel. Now it's still possible if that Tory did put his hands on Kelsey, but at the end of the day, Kelsey and Megan were putting their hands on each other. They absolutely were. They fought. They did. That happened. So with that going down, with them fighting and all of that, because I feel like Megan got out the car and wore her out. That is how I feel. I feel like she wore her out. I do. And then Tory and the driver or security broke it up. Got out the car and broke it up. That is what the witness saw. They broke up the fight. I believe the fight started in the car and they pulled over because they started literally fighting each other. And it sounds like Tory and the dude in the car was like, chill out, chill out, chill out. They didn't stop the car. They got out. They got out. Megan put them hands on Kelsey. That's how I feel. I feel like Megan got out that car and woke Chelsea out. I do. Kelsey was getting the best of Megan in that car. But when they got out and stood up, oh yeah, Megan handled her. That's how I feel. And I feel like Tory felt bad that Megan had just woke her out on the side of that car like that. And then they got back in the car. And when they got back in the car, Megan and Tory start arguing again. And Chelsea enters. They still arguing. Megan want to get out the car. She wants to get out. Megan saying certain things about Tory and his career and being short. And while he was in that car seat, Megan got out to walk because she just wanted to get away from them. She had just got done fighting with Kelsey, literally. This dude in the car calling me all of my name. I'm calling out his name. It's hot, like, this is gross. I'm drunk, like, I just want to get out of here. Situation. And got out of the car. And when she got out the car, tempers are already flaring. I feel like Tory stuck that weapon out that car, pop at that girl. She fell to the ground. I don't feel like he truly meant to hit her, but it happened. She fell to the ground. They all got out. There was a lot going on. People was coming outside, neighbors and stuff. Tory had that weapon in his hand. Get in the car, all y'all. They all pull up. People call the police. Police pull them over a couple blocks down. That's what it's giving. If you ask me, it's giving that. It's giving that Tory did it. Like that. That's what it's giving. If Tory didn't do it, then I need to see a better theory that Kelsey did, because her getting immunity is not immunity for powering anybody. She didn't do it. That's why she had no problem testifying. I didn't do it. So I don't have a problem testifying. Tory team saying that Kelsey did it, go ahead, because I didn't do it. So, and you can't prove that I did it because I didn't. Yeah, I had GSR on me. I was close to what was going down. All it takes is a person to touch you after they pop out a weapon for you to have GSR on you. Like, touching hands, when you're in an altercation and stuff like that, trying to separate stuff, or people touch hands a lot, you know, in situations like that. You know, when you walk into somebody like, move, don't touch me, you inclined to grab their hands and stuff. So I said, Meg probably had it on her too. Like, doesn't mean that they used a weapon. All you gotta do is be around it. Like literally. Now on the hands, now there's gonna be a higher ratio. If you actually piled the weapon, yeah, you're gonna have a lot, you know, of it on you. You know, if it was like a black light test, your hands will probably turn white, you know, type of situation. But you can easily get it on you. GSR does not mean like you literally, you know, fired a weapon. No. The cop's fingerprints was on the weapon too. Did he fire the gun? It's just like, I mean, I don't know. I just, but anyways, yays. So let's keep listening. Yeah, again, I feel the same way. I feel the same way because with Tory's team blaming it on Chelsea. I mean, Kelsey, if Kelsey didn't do it, they're not, you can't prove somebody did something that they didn't do. So someone would have to prove that, you know, Kelsey did it. You can't just say it and you got to prove it. Just like, you know, with Kelsey, she just completely fumbled the ball. Like, it's horrible, horrible, horrible.
Testify the idea that these are not bullet fragments in her foot, that's done. Forget about it. Those are bullet fragments. Every single person on that jury, if you ask me, believes that it was bullet fragments. How did they get there? That's the question. Kelsey took the stand. He was asked by the prosecutors, I don't know what the prosecutors were doing. If you ask me, it was a fumble this morning because they dealt with a witness who was hostile, not answering their questions, saying that she lied to them about all these statements where she incriminated Tory. And then that fumble was picked up on cross-examination. The defense attorney looks like he's on his way to the house. The defense attorney starts with the immunity piece. Okay, you've got immunity. You're only testifying once you got the immunity. Understood. Then the defense attorney goes into this idea that she's been paid off. And he does a great job of establishing the fact that she never made any statements to prosecutors in all of 2020, all of 2021. This happened in 2020. She only made a statement to prosecutors in September 2022. And the prosecutors are using all this evidence of alleged bribes. That stuff was years ago. So why would she have taken money years ago and then September 2022 not done what she's supposed to do when you take the money, which is lie for Tory? And to be sure, that's like the first 3 minutes of cross, because then we go into gunshot residue. You knew before you sat down with the police officers and gave your testimony that you had gunshot residue on you. Isn't that correct? She said, yes. Defense attorney came back and he used the prosecution's own questions against them. The prosecution had asked, hey, why'd you lie to us? Kelsey said, pressure. Defense attorney, where was the pressure from? Was it from Tory? Nope. Was it from anyone on Tory's team? Nope. Was it from the defense team? Nope. Was it from the prosecution? Yes. That type of sequence of questioning sits in a person's mind and goes, gee, I'm in a courtroom of law. It certainly seems like one side is winning. A lot more. Morning session, we had the doctor testify the idea that these are not bullet fragments in her.
I'm about to say I'm getting annoyed because I'm like, is this the same thing over and over? Okay, so hit the like, y'all, please. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Lawyers remind Kelsey, although she was granted immunity, she can be charged for lying, okay? DA Kathy Ty, is it Ty? I hope I'm saying it right. Began questioning of Kelsey by asking her about being granted immunity for her testimony and empathizing that the immunity does not cover perjury, okay? As in if Kelsey lies on the stand in Tory's trial, she can be charged with a crime. So with that being said, so her immunity covers her with everything else, okay? It doesn't cover if she lies while up there. So she has to tell the truth. That's why I'm confused by her interview that she did with the prosecution team in September, because wouldn't that be considered perjury if she says anything other than what she said in said interview? Like, she has to repeat it. Like, if she doesn't repeat it, isn't she in trouble? Like, wouldn't that be considered lying? Although she's not like literally, I get it. You know, it's like she's not saying no to these things. She's just saying she doesn't remember. So if she's saying that I don't remember, that's not necessarily her being guilty of perjuring herself on the stand. And again, too, it's about what happens in court with perjury. So her interview was not stated in court. So she would, even if she said that she never did the interview and whatnot, she's not, she may be lying about the interview, but the interview didn't happen in court. So that's another thing with perjury. You can't get up there lying at all. You know, don't come up here lying. But none of that was brought up in court. Okay. And the judge had thrown out the interview. He stated that the interview is admissible in court. So like nobody can use it. The jury can't use it. Nobody can count it. We got to ignore it. You know, type of situation with this interview. So, but they didn't need it because they thought she was going to tell the truth. But then she get up here and flip the whole script. So now, but even before Kelsey flipped the script, they threw the interview out. And so it couldn't be used. So the judge, he threw it out. So I was confused by that as well. I'm like, okay, well, because people keep saying like, oh, well, the interview. Well, the judge said it can't be used against her. I don't know if the judge can change that. I don't know. But, and then also people were stating as well that she can be called to the stand again. No. In Kelsey's immunity, she agreed to only testifying once. And hold on, because I know we just listened to this like 6 times, but even a lawyer for workers, he states the same thing. The immunity deal is for testifying one time, no more than that. No more than that. So she's not. So I don't believe she can be called back to the stand. I don't believe so. I don't know. So, but listen, he says this as well. What's my fault?
She is done testifying. We're on a 15-minute break. This has to be quick. The key moment of her testimony, I think, has to come down to when the defense attorney elicited testimony from her suggesting that there was a physical altercation between her and Meg. Kelsey seemed very hesitant answering these questions, like she didn't want to say. However, she then said, hey, we both got out of the car. You will remember Meg testified that Meg got out of the car. She does not know where Kelsey was. Kelsey was on the passenger side, and that she turned around and she saw Tory shooting at her. Kelsey testified that this part she remembers. She and Meg both got out of the car, and that there was a physical altercation. Kelsey described it as a bump. The defense attorney was like, really? You guys are super drunk. You just got into a yelling match with her over the fact that she was hooking up with Tory without you knowing. You also mentioned to her that this wasn't the first time she betrayed you like that. She had done it with one other guy. Interestingly, the defense had said it was Ben Simmons and DaBaby. Kelsey said, I only named one name. She didn't confirm if it was Ben Simmons or DaBaby.
So again, if Kelsey didn't pop her before sleeping with one of the dudes that she slept with, why would she do it with Tory? But moving right on from that, right? Hold on, let's get right here because he says it right at the beginning. Sorry.
Morning session. We had the doctor testify. The idea that these are not bullet fragments in her foot, that's done. Forget about it. Those are bullet fragments. Every single person on that jury, if you ask me, believes that it was bullet fragments. How did they get there? That's the question. Kelsey took the stand. He was asked by the prosecutors. I don't know what the prosecutors were doing. If you ask me, it was a fumble this morning because they dealt with a witness who was hostile, not answering their questions, saying that she lied to them about all these statements where she incriminated Tory. And then that fumble was picked up on cross-examination. The defense attorney looks like he's on his way to the house. The defense attorney starts with the immunity piece. Okay, you've got immunity. You're only testifying once you got the immunity.
Okay, so she is basically done testifying, okay? Because that was her agreement. Now, since she changed things, I don't know. I'm sure the defense team and others are going to want their hand at Kelsey. So she has to testify again because that defense team is going to want a piece of Kelsey. Okay. They're not about to just let her slide like that because the defense team and the prosecution were very dependent on Kelsey. Yes, Megan's team. They needed her. You know, she was a big piece of their story, you know, in taking Tory down. So again, I don't know. She got to testify again because more people are going to want her. I know that defense team going to want to eat her alive. I already know they are. So, because I would want to. Oh yes, if I was an attorney, I would want my hand at her. Hold on, I would want my hand at her. Okay, where are we at? Seems like this is going backwards. Sorry, y'all. Okay, we're here. So tomorrow, prosecutors will right here. I'm gonna make this bigger. Prosecutors will play their 80-minute recorded interview they had with Kelsey in September. Okay. Court is out for the day, and Judge Hereford said he is going to allow prosecutors to play the jury Kelsey's entire 80-minute recorded interview with prosecutors in September. I'm sure they meant this, will happen tomorrow morning. Okay, so they're going to play when Kelsey said, but that's what I said, I'm confused. So it's like, is the judge just allowing it to be played now because Kelsey got up there and completely flipped the script? Is this going to count? Can the jury take this into consideration? Because why play it if they can't? Like, with that, because that's what I'm saying. I'm confused. Can anybody answer that? If they're going to play this happened in September, the 80-minute interview that Kelsey had with the prosecutors stating so much other stuff, right? The judge had already thrown this out and said that this was admissible to court, like it couldn't be used, right? But now, because they were always going to, I guess, be able to listen to it, but they can't use it, right? But now, because Kelsey just did this today with getting up there and fumbling the ball and completely throwing everything off from what the prosecution had already turned in, as evidence, which was Kelsey's 80-minute interview with them, saying, all the horrible things that Tory said and did, and all of that night. So I don't know. Maybe one of y'all know. I'm gonna drop the link soon if y'all want to come up. Maybe one of y'all can answer that. And again, everybody has the right to have your own opinion. I am not over here telling, if you think Tory is innocent, you are entitled to that. One thing that we are not going to do when I drop the link, we're not about to argue about it. Like, because you're still gonna have your opinion and I'm still gonna have mine. Like, so you don't have to come up here super defensive. Not for what? Like, y'all, we're not attorneys and we also not them. So I was like, chill out, just give your opinion. Like, that's it. And I'm not gonna let nobody attack you for it, anything like that. Even if you are Team Tory, you have the right to be Team Tory. Just like we got the right to be Team Meg. Because I'm Team Meg. Because again, she was injured. Okay? That happened. Those were fragments that were pulled from her foot. All right? The girl deserves justice. Anybody that got pop out, if that was my daughter, I would want something done about this. If that was my sister, I would want something done about this. I don't care who she slept with. So stop hanging with her. That's all I can tell you. Oh, well, that's what we do. Oh, sometimes we take your man. See, sometimes we do that. Oh, well, it's not a reason to take somebody's life, like, or put them in the risk their life being taken, all because she slept with somebody. So, like, girl, if anything, I mean, I understand the windmilling outside. I get that. But her getting pop out at, unnecessary. That should have never happened. And Megan is a victim of that. I am going to give her that because she deserves it. Anybody that get pop out, no matter how little, how big, doesn't matter. Like, y'all got to stop that. I still don't think that it was deliberate. I don't, but it doesn't excuse it. She was still injured. End of story. So I don't know. But I really want to know this though. If this can count now, if the 80-minute conversation that they had with Kelsey, if it is going to be able to be used. So let's move on into this. So Kelsey Nicole testifies that she wasn't fighting with Meg the Stallion, but they probably bumped into each other. Kelsey also says she didn't hear Tory Lanez tell Megan to dance B. She says, I don't know where that came from. And she also said that it sounds stupid when she was up there. It's like, it's stupid. And it's like how she said it is, it's like gross. Like, she just treated it like it was just a big game. I highly doubt that, Megan thumped her and then they got back in the car. No, Megan twirled you around, is what Megan did. You got out that car, you thought because Megan was drunk that she was about to light her up, and the complete opposite sounds like it happened, like Megan so fire. It sounded like you got beat up, girl. That's what it sounded like. That's what that word that you got out that car and Megasis showed you why she is a horse. So yays. So that's obviously false. I do not believe that either, that it was a bump. No, girl. Y'all got out that car tussling, honey. Y'all got out that car tussling. So right here says, here's a rundown of the evidence jurors will have access to during the Tory Lanez assault trial. Jurors will have access to the following evidence. Now, this is before this was dropped. Hold on, let me pull this back up that the Neighborhood Talk dropped, because the Neighborhood Talk posted this right before we went live about them using or playing the 80-minute recorded interview that Kelsey did back in September 2020, stating all of these allegations against Tory. Now, this right here on the shade room of evidence that the jury gets to see was before. Okay, so now that I don't know if the 80-minute phone call counts. I don't know, because that could change things. It definitely could. So jurors will have access to the following evidence: Kelsey's Tory Pop Meg text to Megan's security guard on the incident night, Tory's recorded apologetic call to Kelsey after the pow-powing, Tory's apologetic text to Meg, LAPD body camera and footage of Meg and when the ambulance came. Additional evidence jurors will have 2 911 calls from neighbors about the pow-pows, surveillance footage with audio of the pow-powing from a home near the incident site. Now, this is another thing that can be a game changer. Another thing. This is why I don't think that, well, I don't know. I'll leave a reasonable doubt, but knowing this evidence is submitted, because Kelsey and all of them know all this stuff too, you know, that this evidence is submitted. So if Kelsey did it and there is surveillance footage of the alleged pow-powing, why would she get up there and, like, I feel like she knows she didn't do it. Like, honestly, that's how I feel. I feel that Kelsey is completely confident that she didn't do that to Meg. That's why she keeps stating that she doesn't recall. She didn't see it, but she heard the pow-pow and whatnot, because, again, I didn't do it. So if you have any footage or anything like that, it ain't gonna show me doing nothing. So not that. Now we may have bumped each other. We may have we made a little bit of this, but I didn't pow-pow her. You're not going to pull that up. That's not going to happen. So I can confidently sit here and say I didn't do this to her, because I didn't do it. But I ain't got to tell you who did it either. So yeah, I don't know. My eyes were closed. I heard a pow-pow, but I don't know. So again, I do feel that on this footage, this may work against Tory. So, because now, again, depending on how close the surveillance is too, because if it just shows a flash, that's not enough. I mean, because again, who has it? You need a clear visual. If there's no clear visual that there's at least a male with that weapon, then I mean, I don't really see how much that can solve. But I mean, if it literally puts a weapon in someone's hand and you can see, even if being a male is enough for them to be like, oh, okay, that's Tory. But yeah, I don't know. We will see. We will definitely see. But that is definitely a piece of evidence, surveillance footage with audio of the gunfire from a home near the incident. So who knows how close it was? They could have been right in front of these people's home. Like if there's a garage cam, or something like that, they could have been right in front of the house. Most of our surveillance, if you have surveillance in your home, it covers like my whole front yard, so I can see the whole front yard, the street that's in my yard, almost up to across the street, get a little blurry when it started to get, and then it cuts, the angle cuts because the camera only covers so much, but you can see a lot, that happens. So again, depending on how good the camera is, and this in California, and they was in a decent neighborhood, so they could have them surgical cameras, those colonoscopy cameras, Lord. So who knows? Who knows? It could be literal direct footage and audio of what happened. It definitely can. So we will see. That has not been played yet. That has not been played yet. So that's coming. And then also they which they showed today, the X-ray images of Megan's feet. Also evidence jurors saw images during surgeon's testimony. So that happened today. They got the X-ray images. I wonder when they're going to do the surveillance, and because that's going to be very interesting. That day in court, when that surveillance footage comes out, if it's a good surveillance, I can't wait till milagograms, King Payne, a Dennis Byron, a lawyers for where I can't wait till they go live that day, honey, because that's going to be tea. Like that is going to be tea. So I'm excited about that because it seems like we got to leave it up to the cameraman. The cameraman gotcha, because it don't seem like nobody else's story is clearing. So that is a piece of evidence that they will be showing. So lawyers repeatedly remind Kelsey that her immunity doesn't protect her from the perjury charge. So again, I don't think this is the end of her testifying. I feel that the defense team is definitely going to want their day with her, and with the judge playing the whole 80-minute tape now of the interview with her. I don't know. It seems like some things may be changing because people want to change stuff and try to treat people. Because we ain't dumb. If we sit here and she going to court talking about some, I don't remember, you sit here and recall everything that has something to do with you, or you recall Megan acting funny, you recall Megan being drunk, you recall her not wanting to leave, you recall her sleeping with Tory, you recall this, you recall that. But then when it comes to the situation with Tory, you won't recall anything. Instant amnesia when it comes to Tory. You don't remember nothing, but you remember everything when it comes to Megan. Because you have you could definitely tell that there is issue there still with them. Even when she started it off first day in court, I have anxiety. Why? Megan's lies for the last 2 years. So you came out the gate coming for Meg. Girl, this is not the time or the place for these high school antics, girl. We are in federal court. Girl, this ain't the time for get backs. Like, this ain't the time for to tell the truth and get your big head ass off this damn stage. You gonna come up here and do all of that. Like, girl. Now, I get what Megan did again. And I don't feel that Megan had to kiss Kelsey's butt and whatnot because they was gonna go to court or anything like that. For what? We're clearly not friends, girl. You don't like me. I slept with the dude that I hooked you up with. Oh, well, it is what it is. You don't like me, I don't like you. Move around. You ain't got to like me, girl. You ain't got to like me. But instead, Kelsey was still trying to befriend Meg. She was still trying to befriend her. Girl, stop it. Like, a lot of y'all don't take rejection well. A lot of you don't. So Megan didn't have to kiss her ass. Kiss her ass for what? I mean, what's done is done. Girl, I done sat here arguing out with you, what you mean, we done fought, I done got popped, all of that. Like, girl, okay, if I was gonna get some karma from that situation, I got it already. It's how, if I was Megan, how I'd be looking at it. Like, okay, well, I know not to do that again. Okay, I ain't, girl. Okay, clearly, whatever. It is what it is. It was stupid. I'm young and dumb, chalk it up and, But, because if Megan would have kissed Kelsey's butt, then Kelsey would have been more inclined to be on Megan's side when they go to court. So it's like, well, Megan, why would you side, come for her, shade Kelsey, all of this stuff, and then expect when it's time to go to court after you done did all of this to her? Because like me, I understand what Kelsey did. I mean, what Megan did, but how I'm set up with my best friend, even if my best friend did do that to me, I'm not letting somebody get away with what they did to my friend. Like, I'm just like, we don't have to ever talk again in life. We don't. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to kumbaya. We don't have to any of those things. But if I saw this man do this to you, I'm telling that it happened. I'm not about to protect him. I'm not. And you have to think, if a person is going to protect them, to me, it's not about emotion. It's about money. It's about money. Because in September, they were all on the same wavelength. Her, the defense team, basically, and the prosecution. They were all They all have the same story. And then she come in court today and completely change all of that, throw all of that out. There's a reason behind that. And it's not because she don't like Megan. It's not because Megan slept with Tory. That doesn't even make any sense. Because if Kelsey didn't pop her, what you need immunity for? Okay, you didn't pop her. You need immunity because you about to come in here and lie about what you said in September. And you don't got paid and you want to move on about your business. Your job is to not incriminate Tory. That's your job. That's what you did. Played the postpartum card, all of that. All of that, girl. Okay, they let you slide. They did. Now, honestly, I will say what Kelsey did, brilliant. So smart, she's stupid to think that she was going to get away with it. Because, again, if we see this, the judge sees it. The jury sees it. The defense team sees it. The prosecution sees it. Everybody sees it. Like, if we ain't smarter than them, I'm not smarter than no damn attorney. I know that for a fact. I ain't smarter than no judge. I'm definitely not. So if I can pick up off this energy, they're definitely picking up off of it too. So they're not dumb. You know, you don't say all this in September. You come here months later and your whole story's changed and changed to more so of what you can't remember, but you just sat here and fluently told us about the build-up with you and Megan, when you met her, when you met Tory, all of that. You can remember all of that. But then when it comes to Tory, you mean no comprehend English anymore? Like, girl, you fell and bumped your head after Tory got in the car? It's just, I don't know. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. That's what I said. These people are not stupid. They're not. So if we're picking up on it, they are too. Lori's, I'm so sad we're the same thing over and over. Up, yes, up, and it's stuck. Okay, so let's get into this. So prosecution has requested Kelsey's entire recorded interview from September 2020 be played for jury amid her amnesia. Okay, now this is before the Neighborhood Talk posted that it will be. Okay, I told y'all that update was right before we came live. I had already had this stuff bookmarked. So James Queeley says maybe the most significant development this morning at Tory Lanez trial came after Kelsey Harris left the stand. The prosecution is seeking permission to play her entire recorded interview from September 2022. On cross-examination, defense attorney George began to ask questions, implying prosecution had pressured Harris testify. Okay, and DDA Alexander Bott is arguing this has opened the door to playing the tape to defend the integrity of the prosecution. So from what I'm getting from that is they want the whole interview played because how Kelsey got up here, Kelsey trying to make it look like we lied. Kelsey got up here and trying to make it seem like when we talked to her in September 2020 that we doctored up and intimidated her basically into stating the things that she said to the point to where she has so much anxiety about this situation that she has amnesia, that she can't even remember, let alone what she said to us. She acted like she can't remember what she talked about yesterday, you know? So again, she went from a star witness, a credible witness, to just basically a blatant liar, is what she turned into. So now she's made us look as if we have no credibility and the information that we have brought forward and that the evidence that we have submitted, she's trying to throw this completely off. And that's not right because, again, she is our star witness. And now our star witness has completely thrown the wool over our eyes and betrayed us. So, I mean, retitles much? Yeah, get with that. Yeah, hair flip. So they want the whole thing played in court. Like, can we play this whole 80-minute interview that we had with her in September 2022, since she's coming forward, making it seem as if we are lying? Because again, the judge threw this out. So this wasn't able to be used. But now it seems as if the tide is turning. So just as quick as Kelsey thought that this was going to be easy for her, because she thought she was going to get up on that stand and be able to plead the fifth and not testify at all. That was Kelsey's plan. She didn't want to testify at all. That was her what she was going to do. She thought that she could get up there and say, I plead the fifth to every question that was asked to her. That's why she kept looking to the judge, like basically, like, I really don't want to answer this question, you know, and stuff like that. The judge looked at her like, you heard her? What you looking at me for? So, you know, hair flip. So, yeah, it definitely feels as if Kelsey went there to not testify. That was not her plan at all. She was trying to get out of it. She absolutely was. Pleading the fifth, amnesia. I don't remember this. I don't know this. I don't remember this. I don't know that. Although you just said this, what, a couple months ago? Not even. So, yeah, I mean, a few months ago. So, I mean, it's like, girl. So I understand that the prosecution team is just like, no, look, now, Judge, we need this. I know you said we couldn't use it, but we need it now. Because if she would have just got up here and corroborated what we discussed in September, we wouldn't need the 80-minute call or interview. We wouldn't need it. But now we do. Because we ain't the liar. We ain't the liar. Y'all tell me to look at the shade room? Okay. I will absolutely pull the shade room. In the process of doing that, actually, let's do it. Come on, shade room. Okay, what is this? Megan Thee Stallion says her boyfriend, Partisan Fontaine, is embarrassed by the situation. Also says she wishes she was. Oh, that is so sad. Oh, that is sad. That is sad. I mean, because it can be, this can be mortifying. I mean, it is, we ain't on this stand. We're not on it. I mean, this ain't my life, this hers. You know, so I can't tell her how she feels. I can't. I can't tell her how she feels. You know, Partisan being embarrassed, I could see that. I mean, it's a lot, you know, to drink in. So I get what. I don't think he's saying like he's embarrassed by Meg. I think he's just saying like he's embarrassed because, you know, like if Megan was my woman, her feelings would be my feelings, you know, on this situation. So why would Megan be embarrassed by all this stuff that's coming out, especially? Like, why wouldn't she be? I mean, that's unfortunate. You know, so I think he's talking like that, not like he's like literally embarrassed. I mean, what would he be? You're right. Like, what would he be embarrassed about? You know, this ain't got nothing to do with him. But I think that he's saying it more so in like how she feels. You know, if my girl felt embarrassed like this, because again, it is putting her business out there. You know, these men have been in between her legs, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, this isn't, you know, just the normal, just she was walking down the street and somebody randomly powed her, you know, like that ain't what happened. So, but again, we can't tell people how to feel. If y'all was going through this situation, I think y'all feelings would be similar. Everybody's different, so we all feel differently. We're all embarrassed by different things. You know, you got some people that would be embarrassed if they, you know, if a girl was dancing in the bar, her titty popped out, that's probably something she would be embarrassed about. You have other girls, they titty pop out in the bar and it's just like, oh, well. You know, they're not embarrassed about it at all. So with these type of situations, you know, some people may not be embarrassed by something like this. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm a celebrity, and they're talking about that I've slept with other celebrities. That's why me and my homegirl got into it. You know, so some people that's not embarrassing, and to others, it is. You know, it can be very embarrassing. So again, but I would never want anybody to feel like, you know, wishing that she was, you know, taken off this earth, you know, because of like, nobody deserves to feel like that. Even if you don't like Megan, like nobody deserves to feel like I would rather have just died. You know, I would have just rather just, you know, him just take me out. You know, if I would have had, you know, that's sad. You know, I mean, you may not feel that way, but you know, yeah, and narcissists even have feelings though. They do. I know they try to make everything about them, you know, and stuff like that, but still at the same time, everybody's human, whether you're a narc or not. Narcs are humans. I mean, everybody's human. So we all feel, even narcs feel. They may try to act like they don't, but they do. Oh yeah, they do. They definitely feel. So, but yeah, nobody deserves to feel that way. And again, that's unfortunate. I wouldn't wish that on nobody. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. And I don't know Megan for her to be my enemy. So, Anyways, she still deserves justice. So what does this say? Okay, so comments from we all saw an Instagram comment from Tory's account in September 2020 in which the account replied, "That's not true," to someone commenting that people are saying Kelsey Powell. Okay, yeah, we know that. Okay, we know that. Okay, I'm going. Somebody said that they DM'd me something, so I'm going to pull that up. While I am, hold on. Let me pull up Lawyer for Hire real quick, because Lawyer for Hire, Lawyer for Hire. No, Lawyer for Workers. Sorry, I'm about to open a panel. I'm just trying to get the rest of this little content out real quick before we do. But if there's updates, I would love to go over them. So, but until then, let's listen to Lawyer for Hire.
That these are not bullet fragments in her foot, that's done. Forget about it. Those are. So I just recorded the first subscriber only content, and there's actually 2 that I recorded, and you're going to get it before the end of the month. Kelsey is done testifying. We're on a 15-minute break. This has to be quick. The key moment of her testimony, I think, has to come down to when the defense attorney elicited testimony from her suggesting that there was a physical altercation between her and Meg. Kelsey seemed very hesitant answering these questions, like she didn't want to say. However, she then said, "Hey, we both got out of the car." You will remember Meg testified that Meg got out of the car. She does not know where Kelsey was. Kelsey was on the passenger side, and that she turned around and she saw Tory shooting at her. Kelsey testified that this part she remembers. She and Meg both got out of the car, and that there was a physical altercation. Kelsey described it as a bump. The defense attorney was like, "Really? You guys are super drunk. You just got into a yelling match with her over the fact that she was hooking up with Tory without you knowing. You also mentioned to her that this wasn't the first time she betrayed you like that. She had done it with one other guy." Interestingly, the defense had said it was Ben Simmons and DaBaby. Kelsey said, "I only named one name." She didn't confirm if it was Ben Simmons or DaBaby. And the defense attorney's like, "So after all that, you guys both get out of the car, and all that happened between the 2 of you was a bump?" I'll tell you, I don't think anybody in the room believes that the only.
So, because a lot of y'all are sending me this. So Megan added that the negative attention is also impacting her boyfriend, Partisan Fontaine. Quote, "I feel disgusted. I feel dirty. My own partner is embarrassed," Meg said of Fontaine having to see the continued coverage of her sexual history. She said, in an effort to avoid talking about the alleged powwowing, "I can't even be happy. I don't want to talk to friends or family. I don't want to live." She said loud but emotional. "I wish I had just popped and killed me. Oh, if I had to go through all this torture." I don't know. I just don't like stuff like that. I don't like people feeling like that. I don't like people feeling like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's unfortunate. And again, most women, especially, most dudes brag on it, but some don't. But most women don't want their, what they did with this person, and you don't really want that out there. But anyway, so prosecutor reported and wasn't too happy with Kelsey not remembering events. Kelsey, "It's hard to remember these events." Kathy Todd, "It wasn't so hard in September." James Quilly says, "We're done for the day at Tory Lanez trial. I don't have much of an update as it was an endless cycle of Kelsey Harris saying she didn't remember something, and the prosecutor then reading transcripts of her saying exactly in a September interview. Never even made it to cross." So yes, this cross examination, Kelsey, they are about to eat her alive in this cross-examination, especially after they play this interview too. So I'm going to drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link. If y'all want to come up, that's my commentary on what we have so far. A decent amount of information. I hope y'all not too confused. I have bookmarks if y'all need me to update you, if you forgot what, something, or, anybody that has any input to add on this, I would love to hear from y'all. I don't know what I think. I know that this don't look too good for Tory. I will say that, and I'm not going to say it in court. In court, I feel like Tory's going to be fine. I don't think Tory. I don't know. I feel like he's going to be fine. Well, how this case is going, Kelsey was she was essential, and ain't nobody gonna believe her now. I mean, so you might as well just throw her away. Throw that whole witness away. Type of situation. Throw that whole witness away. Megan's testimony, I do think, is very helpful. I do. I think her testifying, I think that's going to help out. I do. Is that enough to give Tory 15, 20 years? We will see. We will see. I don't know. I don't know if that's enough for him to be arrested, or not arrested, I should say, to serve time. I think deportation is out of the question too. I don't think that they're going to deport him. I don't feel that way. I mean, it has to be proven and without a reasonable doubt. But yeah, I don't know. It's not looking too good. It is a mess. It is a mess thus far. The amount of evidence that they have now with that surveillance footage and the audio, that could be a game changer. If the judge lets them use this 80-minute interview from September 2022 as evidence, if he lets them submit it as evidence, that could help. And the reason why that would help is because Tory it's a lot stated about Tory in the interview, that he allegedly threatened Kelsey, that he put his hands on her, that after he pop out Megan, he threatened to pop out her if she did not get into the vehicle. There's a lot. There's definitely a lot. So I don't know, but I would love to hear what y'all think. Do y'all think Tory's going to jail? Do you think Tory did it? Do you think Kelsey did it? How do you feel about Megan? Do you think that she deserves the energy that she's getting right now? Is this karma coming to knock on Megan's door, or does this have nothing to do with karma? Is the bodyguard going to take the stand? I do not know. That is a real question. A really good question. I have no idea. I know Corey Gamble is supposed to be taking the stand. I know Tory's going to take the stand. I don't know about the bodyguard. And again, they can't find the bodyguard. And then with, what's her face? EJ, because they could find EJ. Why didn't EJ testify? Why wasn't he subpoenaed? I mean, Corey wasn't there. He was at the party. But Corey Gamble wasn't in the car with them, or anything like that. He's testifying. Why didn't EJ testify? He was there. He was at the party. They can find him. He's not missing. I don't know. Corey Gamble is taking the stand, but Kylie isn't odd. No, the only reason why I feel like Corey is taking the stand is I feel like because he wants to. Honestly, I feel like because he wants to. I don't think that because they couldn't subpoena Kylie because I don't think they subpoenaed Corey. I don't think so. I think he's like a willing witness. Is what it's getting. Yes, Corey with the hips. Yeah, I think he's a willing participant. EJ know too much. True. I mean, he couldn't know a lot. Kylie did a testimony. Oh, did she? They said she was very truthful and factual in her answers. Was it like a written testimony? Because I didn't hear nothing about her being a court girl. Kylie being in court, people would be all over that. So it must have been written. Was it written? Because I didn't hear nothing about her going to sit down. Oh, she took the stand? I didn't hear nothing about her taking. I thought somebody said something like, I don't know if it was lawyer for hire or whatever, lawyer for workers. I don't know if he said it or somebody else said it, but that's what I'm saying, especially like with Corey, because I don't see them subpoenaing Corey. I would see them subpoenaing Kylie before Corey, because it was her house, her party. He was just there. So, yeah. Oh, those were people. Ooh, Lord, there's people hitting the link and they jumping down because I didn't bring that up. I am so sorry. I'm just so used to just talking to y'all. I'm not used to running panels. But yes, hit the link, hit the link, hit the link, hit the link. Let me hear what you think. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was just talking away. Sorry. She's confused with Kelsey. I don't know. Look at the wound, how you get popped in the back of the foot, slicing the top layer of skin. Tory has some. Yeah, aimed in, hit one bone. Yeah, but they said it was shrapnel. That, you know, not that it was like a head-on, you know, type of situation. So, I mean, when a bullet bursts, it's going where it's going. You know, that's how you know it was definitely in her direction. It had to have been. Did Dennis say anything today? I saw he went live a couple times. I popped in and out. I've been editing all day, so I've been in and out of the loop. In and out of the loop. I was popped in the chest and it missed my heart by an inch. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Ooh. Girl, we glad you're still here, honey. Ooh, that's a lot. Corey and Megan were arguing over who was hotter. Was it Corey Megan or Tory Megan? Sean, you being too sensitive with Meg. I don't. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna drag her like not when she feeling how she feeling. You know, like I said, I can hold Megan. I'm holding her accountable. What she did was dirty. She was very evil. The decisions that she decided to make. So, yeah, I mean, I'm holding her accountable. You know, for those things, but we all do stuff we frown upon. I mean, I would never encourage Tawana even if you made some decisions you didn't necessarily agree with, you know, your own decisions. I would never want you to feel how she feels. If she truly feels that way, like she's saying she feels, I would never want you to feel like that. It doesn't matter who you slept with. None of that matters. You wanting to hurt or harm yourself, it would not be okay. And I wouldn't feel like it would be okay for somebody to pounce on you when you already feel like nothing. You know, I would not support people being like, yeah, get Tawana, get Tawana, get Tawana. Like, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I would be like, yeah, you know, Tawana messy, Tawana do this, she did that, but, you know, don't fall back. Like, fall back. Megan is she's her own worst enemy right now. I feel like nobody dislikes Megan more than her right now. Nobody can hurt Megan more than Megan's hurt Megan within this moment. I feel that, you know, she's going through a lot internally with all of this stuff going on. You know, I mean, it's still a lot. And then again, it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. You know, so I get why she's embarrassed. I can understand, you know, that stuff. Who wants to look on social media and now just people talking about is who you slept with? Like, that would be gross. So yeah, I definitely get that. And if she feels like she wants to harm herself in any way or will want wish somebody else did it for her, take her out of her misery, you know, type of situation, I don't want nobody to feel like that. You're right. Tawana stay well tethered to from jump. That's all you have to do. Like, Sean, don't make this rocket science. She could have just told the truth in the beginning, Sean. She ain't have to do all that. She ain't have to do all that. She was doing the most. But yeah, I'm just saying, you know, if she's feeling like that, I'm not going to. I'm not gonna jump down her throat. I feel like, you know, she going through enough. Again, the girl will still pop out, and it's like no one cares, you know, about that. You know, that's completely been pushed to the side. You know, so I just want to say I can kind of see, I can see where she's coming from. You know, it's like, well, I was still popped, and now y'all cared about was who slept with me, because that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. You know. I was still injured. This still happened to me. Somebody aimed a weapon at me and, you know, pop out it. And it seems like nobody cares about that. It's like all anybody care about is these alleged men that were in my bed or I was allegedly in theirs. It's like, so I get it. I get it, you know. And I hope that she's okay. You know, I hope she don't do nothing to herself or feel like, I mean, this is an opportunity. Like, shout out to Twitch and rest in peace to Twitch, and shout out to his family. You know, you just never know how a person is feeling. You just never know. So if Twitch would have said this, I'm just saying, would people have ignored it and just been like, oh well, you shouldn't have did ... Like, yeah, no. I would hope, you know, that people would want to pull him from the ledge, you know, type of situation. And with Megan, what her saying, what she's saying is like a warning, you know, because you never know what a person's going through. You know, rich and famous does not mean rich and happy. So she could be over there with all the money in the world, all the purses and the bags and the this and the that, but still empty on the inside. If Kelsey is going through all the alleged anxiety and stuff that she's going through, I'm sure Meg is too. I'm sure there's a lot of anxiety about this situation. And I'm sure she just wants it to be over. I would just want all of this to be over with. Like, oh, hurry up so I can move on. You know, because it's hard to move on while something is happening. It's hard to move on in the thick of something. Like, this is the thick of it. You know, so it's not just a move on. Like, no, this is something that she has to deal with whether she wants to or not. And sometimes these type of situations can be unbearable. They can. I've never went through anything like this. So I have no idea the pressure that she is under. I'm sure it's a lot. There's nowhere she's going to go right now if someone not question her about this. Yeah. That part, but why lie? Very good question for Megan. Very good question for her. It's like, we get what you're going through, so, but why lie? Again, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not. I'm not. But again, if she's feeling like that, I don't want to encourage it. I don't want to encourage that type of energy, because I would feel horrible if something happened to her and I was sitting up here talking about something. Yeah. Oh well, you shouldn't have did this and you shouldn't have did that. You know, like, right? Twitch shock, right? And if Megan did something to herself, God forbid. But if she decided to take the same measures, people would still be shocked, because they would just think, oh well, she's a narc. So with her being a narc, that, you know, that's what they do, make everything about them. Okay, well, you have to be living to be a narc. You got to be alive, you know, for that to be you. So yeah, I just, yeah, it's unfortunate all the way around the board, you know. Megan was wronged. Kelsey was wronged. There's a lot of people wronged in this situation. A lot of people. You know, Megan's not the only victim. Kelsey is too. But her antics today, because I mean, I feel like that's a good question too. Tory literally put his hands on her, like she said in September, that he pulled her by her hair, physically assaulted her. If he did all of those things, is she still not a victim just because because I mean, most women that want to, you know, protect these women and call them victims will say like, oh, well, it's common for victims to do certain things. You know, it's common for them to protect their abuser. It's common for them to do this. It's common for them to react this way. You know, that's common. It happens. So she's still not a victim. if Tory did those things to her, or because she allegedly went on stand and forgot everything or lied, however you want to put it, is she not a victim anymore? Just because she didn't want to tell the truth? Well, Megan didn't. When Megan first came out, she even said herself that she was trying to protect him. You know, he a black man and ... She said the same thing. So now that Kelsey's doing it, she's one of the worst human beings on the planet. Okay, well, Megan did the same thing. So it's just, I can hold her accountable because you have to. I'm not going to overlook things because she's sad. I get that you're sad, but you got to take accountability for these things so that you can get over them. It's hard to get over something you won't even look at. You got to look at it. You got to deal with it in order to get over it. You ain't going to get over something you're ignoring. It's because it's still there. Stop ignoring it. Deal with it. Make it go away. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Is it common to lie about who you slept with? I don't think so, but at the same time, price of tea in China. I would understand people pushing the motive if Kelsey was the one who Megan said powed her. Because then motive comes in play, right? So it's just like, if Kelsey popped Megan and that's her best friend, why would she do that? Okay, were you sleeping with Tory? And then Megan comes forward and lies and said that she didn't sleep with Tory. I can understand why that would matter. But Tory popping Meg, what does that have to do with sleeping with somebody? Like, that don't make sense. It would make sense if Kelsey was the one, because that gives motive. Like, oh, okay, well, she popped Megan because Megan slept with Tory. If Tory was sleeping with both of them, why he only popped one? Like, both of them are angry at Tory within that moment. Both of them are arguing with Tory within that moment. Like, so again, there's something like, what, honestly, like, what truly does that have to do with anything? You know, and most people, I mean, if the person you were sleeping with just popped you, I mean, that's kind of a reason to say why you know, I don't feel like it has anything to do with Tory being short, you know, or anything like that. Why would I want to say I was sleeping with the nigga that popped me? Like, didn't I look double dumb? Like, so, I mean, I get it. That would be something I would probably want to keep personal too. I probably wouldn't want that information out. So I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. Could have been a toss-up over the. I don't know. In my honest opinion, I don't feel like Kelsey and Tory had their hand on the gun at the same time, and then it went off. And I don't feel that way. I don't. I feel like Tory was being drunk and stupid. I do. I feel like all of them were intoxicated. A bunch of dumb stuff was going on. The situation got extremely heated very quickly. We all know how situations can go from 0 to 100, especially intoxicated. They just one moment it's like this, and then the next moment, chaos, pure chaos, you know? So honestly, I think that I do. I think Tory did that by herself. I don't feel that way. If Kelsey approached that weapon, I feel like she approached it after the pow-powing had already happened. I don't feel like it was before it. I don't. I feel like it was after. If that happened. If they had their hands on the weapon at the same time. I don't know. But all of them were intoxicated. Extremely. And they said Tory was a couple other things too. But I think that he was just being stupid. You know, people do dumb things when they're intoxicated. Like, we can't make it because they're celebrities, that they're alpha humans. They know so much better, and they don't make mistakes. You know, stuff like we do. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. I think it was more so of a control factor. I think that both of the women were doing a lot of arguing and fighting with each other. And I think he grabbed that weapon as a way of trying to take control over the situation again and to intimidate. Absolutely. What reason would he have had to have had a weapon? What reason would he have had to touch that weapon at all with two women? You can't make him not an aggressive person. He is. He attacked August Alsina because August did not respond to him. He did not say hello. And he viciously attacked him for it. So short temper is an understatement when it comes to Tory. And he did that sober. So you can't make Tory because you like his music and whatnot. Because again, I don't understand how y'all can separate an artist from a crime. I can separate an artist from the music. I can do that. You know, all the stuff going on with Nick Carter, you know, when I'm from the Backstreet Boys and allegedly doing what he did to that girl when she was 16 years old. I can separate Nick from the Backstreet Boys. I can do that because the Backstreet Boys aren't being accused of that. He is. So I can separate that. But I can't separate an artist from the crime. I can't. I'm not doing that. I'm not. That's just how I get down. I can separate an artist from the music when they do something personally that I don't like. So if Tory Lanez say I'm bisexual, I ain't never that gay. But say Tory's a gay artist, right? And I'm straight. I'm a heterosexual male. Now I may not care, you know, for Tory's sexuality. And at that point, I can separate the artist from the music. That's the only time I can do something like that if it's something personal. You know, if I'm a person that don't believe in wearing fur and stuff like that, and there's an artist that wears a lot of fur, I can separate that and be like, you know what? I may not care for animal cruelty and stuff like that, but I do love your music. It's not a crime for you to wear fur. So I can get down with that. I can get down with that. I can. But with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly's and stuff like that, I can't separate that. There's nothing. What am I separating? Because they're hand in hand. You can't sing about something and be found guilty of said things that you're singing about because it's all inappropriate. No different than Cosby, him acting. Okay, well, a lot of the actresses that were on the Cosby Show and auditioned to be on the Cosby Show, you did this too as well. So again, that's involved with your art. You know, so again, what am I separating? I'm not separating a crime from a talent. I'm not doing that. That's weird. I just find that weird, you know, but that's just me, you know, that's how I think. But again, I can separate something personal. I don't eat meat, you do as an artist. Okay, I can separate that. That's fine. Because that's personal, ain't got nothing to do with me. But you committing crimes and whatnot, no. There ain't nothing for me to separate. Kodak Black took advantage of a whole black girl and nothing was done about it. He got a slap on the wrist. And then pardoned before that. You separate his music from what he did as you do that. I don't have to. I don't have to. No, I'm not supporting no concert, none of that. You support that. I don't have to. I don't have to. All these blogs post Boosie. I'm not supporting him. I can get over the fact that he basically had his daughter's mother's brother eliminated. Okay, I guess he didn't do it with his own hands. So hey, still got to prove. Besides him going to trial for it, court for it, because he did. But him taking his teenage sons, into a room and having a grown woman perform sexual acts on them, and he brags about it. What am I forgetting? Like, what am I separating? So you willingly took your sons into that room, teenagers, and let grown women have their way with them? Gross. Like, you should be in jail. But okay, all right, you know. But y'all still want to bump Boosie, share him. Oh, Boosie's so funny. He said it's okay. I'll pass, but y'all go off. Go off. But don't let me stop you. So it's the same thing with Tory. I can't separate a crime from talent because they don't go hand in hand. They don't. I can look over him doing certain things when it comes to men because that's mano y mano. But you allegedly popping a woman, you know, all of that, and then hitting the other girl. Nah, you're trash. You are absolute trash. So if y'all want to overlook those things because you like his music and all that, go right ahead. Don't let me stop you. I don't have to support it, and I'm not going to. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely capable of these things. So for people to make it seem like, oh no, he would not do that. Why would he do that? Why would he go viciously attack August Alsina just because he didn't say hello? What was the reason? Who are you? To where you feel like, okay, alrighty. You know, so him not doing that I could completely see him doing that to Megan. I could completely see it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Megan wasn't his girl. It's not like his girl got out the car. Mm-mm. Friends with benefits is what they were. August wasn't his man or his friend, but he still put his hands on him. He sure did. Megan wasn't those things either. So again, he was drunk. So it's very plausible that he did it. That's from what I'm getting. I mean, unless they can put the weapon in somebody else's hands, as far as I'm concerned, he did it. And I'm not changing my mind. I'm not. I feel like he did it. That's my opinion. He did it to her. I do not believe Chelsea did it. Or Kelsey did it. No, I don't. Where's the proof of that? Where's the proof of that? You tell me right now, where's the proof that Megan did it or Tory did it to Megan? Megan. She said it. I'm not about to tell her she lied. I'm not going to tell her that. She said she did. She turned around, she saw him. Kelsey said she didn't do it. She got on stand. She said it twice. She said, I didn't do it. Okay. The only person that has been named to have done it is Tory. And now Tory's defense team is stating that it's Kelsey. Okay. Well, maybe his defense team can prove it. Maybe his defense team has the surveillance tape, and it clearly shows that Kelsey did it. We'll see. Maybe they have a smoking GUN. You never know. This case is taking a lot of twists and turns. So, and it's a 10-day process. What is this, day 4? Day 4? So I feel like this is day 4, I think. So there's still 6 more days. And today's Thursday, yes. So yeah, so they got tomorrow, and then they got tomorrow, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, so yeah. So we'll see. We will absolutely see. Megan didn't lie about being popped. No, she did not. She absolutely did not. And she got on stand and said that Tory did it. I don't know. Well, the defense team is definitely thinking so. They're definitely thinking she was paid because as of September, she said Tory did it. Tory threatened her, put his hands on her, all of that. And then she comes to court in December. Then it's, I don't recall. Somebody got something. And then her going up there defending Tory for free. What does she get out of that? I mean, it would make sense for Tory to have paid her because she ain't getting no money from Megan. Megan don't owe her nothing. So Megan's not giving her anything. So I'm not friends with her anymore. I don't deal with her anymore. This nigga talking about something. He gonna take care of me and my family. I got a child now, and all of that. He's saying that he gonna make sure, he gonna give me the meal that he promised me, plus give me the meal for her and all of that. Okay, let's do it. I don't like her no way. I don't want to deal with her no way. She ain't my friend. As dirty as she did me, I'm going to do her dirty too. Like, I'm cool with it. I just don't see Kelsey doing this for free. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do this for free when he is setting up a case against you? His stance is that you did it. And you sit here defending him? Come on now. But there's no money involved. So you do all of this for free. You're risking your freedom, sitting up here about to perjure yourself and all of that for this. Because remember, even if Kelsey does perjure herself, that's what she will be being charged for. Perjury. That don't carry no 15 to 20 year charge like what Tory's being charged with. Perjury, a simple year or so, 6 months and 4 months of probation. Like, that's not a big charge. So even if she does perjure herself, Tory still gets out and she still get her money. She still get her money. And he get off. And Megan is screwed over. Good. I don't like her no way. Oh, well. That's how I feel like Kelsey looking at it. Like, she don't give a damn what happens to Megan. For what? Megan ain't my friend. I don't give a damn. Tory get a slap on the wrist. She should have slept with him. That's what she get. I feel like that's how Kelsey looking at it. I'm going to get my get back. Kelsey started off by saying she has anxiety and didn't want to be there. Why? Because of Megan and her lies over the last 2 years. So she came out the gate attacking Megan. This ain't even about Megan. It's about Tory. Tory on trial, not Megan. She came in there throwing shots at her. Although this nigga he done allegedly hit her, Kelsey, drug her by her ponytail, pulled her hair out of her scalp, pointed a weapon at her, and told her to get in the car or she was next. All of that. He did all of that for her. And on top of that, effed her friend. I mean, why is just Megan to blame? Megan didn't have sex with herself. But everybody, all Megan dirty, so is Tory. He is too. But I mean, females, it seems like they be so quick to blame the other female. Like they don't care about the dude at all. The dude is innocent, you know, the equation. Although that's the whole reason they sitting here trying to rip each other's head off, you know, because of this dude. And he just gets a pass. The next day he calls Kelsey from jail and she, hey, basically, hey, baby. He texted Megan, sorry. She texted back, like, he is the op. Like, let's place the blame where it belongs. Like, y'all gotta stop doing that. Y'all gotta stop doing that. Okay, what Megan did was foul. Tory too. She didn't sit in there and sleep with herself. Like, y'all gotta cut that. If Megan's foul, so is Tory. If what Megan did to Kelsey was messed up, Tory too. Tory too. But let's completely overlook that. Megan's a whore, and that's what she get, and Tory didn't do it. Kelsey did. Like, that's crazy. But I mean, if that's how y'all want to view it, don't let me stop you. Don't let me stop you. So if she got up there and risked her freedom and her credibility for free, all out of spite, over something that happened 2 years ago, hey, who am I? Who am I? But it definitely has money written all over it. It makes sense for somebody to be paid for something like that to happen, for those antics, having payment behind it. And then again, there's text message proof that Tory offered money. It's proof of what he offered money for if he's so innocent. Shouldn't Kelsey be the one offering people money if she did it? Like, that's confusing. Like, make sure this is permanent, moderators. Make sure this is permanent. Please make sure this is permanent. Make sure this, I don't ever want to see this person again in my life, ever. Please get this person out of my life. Make that permanent. Thank you. Make it permanent. Thank you. Thank you, girl. Make that permanent. Ooh, I'm sad. How will I sleep tonight? Yeah, flip. But again, it is what it is. We'll definitely see, you know. But Kelsey's wrong. She's flat out wrong. And so is Tory. Like both of them. Again, no, Megan shouldn't have did what she did. No, she shouldn't have. But it happened. Oh well. Oh well. It happened. Oh well. Tory has more to lose. If he was innocent, the driver would be readily available to testify. I think that the driver would just complicate things. I think the driver would just complicate things. And the reason I say that is because how I looked at it is if the driver testified, he was going to testify on Tory's behalf. And if Kelsey testified, she was going to testify on Megan's behalf. You know, it's how I always thought that it would go down because that's just what made sense. But with him not testifying and then Kelsey coming to testify, and it just really just makes no sense. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how that process is going to work. I have no idea. Meg need a miracle. I don't know. I think her testimony. At the end of the day, with a jury, you have to go with what can be proven. And taking the victim's testimony into play is definitely going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. So I think that Megan's testimony is the only thing that would place Tory behind bars at this moment in time. It's like, thank God for Megan, because if not her, not for Megan, it would have been called a mistrial already. So if Megan wasn't testifying, they would have, the prosecution would have nothing without Megan. So Megan is very crucial. And that is what Kelsey was supposed to be. She was supposed to be helpful because another thing people are overlooking too with Kelsey came and sat down with them out of defending herself, out of protecting herself. So that's why in September, Kelsey went and sat down with the prosecutors and the law, the police officers, and sat down and, did that because she was protecting herself. So she stated what happened, and what happened was more so, Tory was the aggressor. He did a lot to the women, all of that. And then she come to court, and it's the complete opposite. Okay. So when Kelsey was doing that at that point in September, I don't think, okay, let me make sure I'm saying this right. She was doing that to see where she was, type of situation. Where do I fit, in this? Can I get in any trouble? If so, let me go in here and test the water. So when she got in there, I believe the questioning of the prosecutors was more so lining towards Tory was basically the person who did this. But we can't say that to her. She has to say it on her own. So I feel like they were lining the questions up like that to where she tried to make it seem like later on now that was them pressuring her type of situation. Because again, she didn't know where she lied and what was going on. Like, am I going to get in trouble? There's certain things that I did. Like, I fought Meg. I put my hands on her. She put her hands on me. It was certain things that she did that she wasn't sure if she could get in trouble for. If you go in there admitting crimes, assaulting someone is a crime. Putting your hand on somebody, that's a crime. And whatnot. It's how I look at it. And so she wanted to go see. Yes, she voluntarily went in. Yes, voluntarily. Didn't nobody call her down there. Didn't nobody, she wasn't subpoenaed. There wasn't no warrant out for her. She willingly went and sat down with prosecution, even had her husband and her attorney present. Absolutely. She willingly sat down. She absolutely did. And had the conversation, 80-minute conversation with prosecution and law enforcement in September 2022, this September, that just passed. So again, like, girl, she went to go see what she was going to actually be in trouble for. I feel like she went to go test the waters. Once she's seen that, it's not too much that I did that I could be in trouble for, like I should be all right, type of situation, I believe that's when somebody contacted her after that. After that, I believe that word got back to Tory's defense team or someone in that realm and was like, look, Kelsey just went and sat down and said, ... That's how I look at it. And I don't know, maybe somebody contacted either her or her husband. I don't know. I can't say that. I can't literally say that Tory gave her. I don't know. I know that he offered it before. That's the only reason I'm stating it is because he did offer it. That's fact. That Tory did offer Megan money and he offered Kelsey money. Yes, he did. Megan even put it in rap tracks and whatnot that Kelsey took the money. Megan felt like Kelsey took the money because Megan was offered money as well. She turned it down. So, I mean, it's not like it's out of his character. It is. It's in his character because he's already offered this and that's fact. So for people to come in like, oh, no, Tory didn't pay her. Kelsey didn't get the money. How do you know that if he already offered it? Kelsey's not a rich rapper like Megan. She's not. Megan turning down the money, I can understand. She's rich. She don't need his money. She good. But Kelsey, the girl that just got fired from Meg when she was working with Meg, the girl that picked up all of her stuff from Texas and moved where Meg was, didn't even have anywhere to go after Megan got popped. That girl could use the money. And she could use the money. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, she definitely could. So, yeah. Again, and everything at 1501 is drying up. So her hubby, yeah, it ain't like he's rich. I mean, he got a little coin, but he ain't like, he's on no Forbes list or anything like that, no. Not this year, last year, before, no. Absolutely not. So he could use the money too. So again, we can't just make that seem as if that is so far-fetched. Even Megan's defense team is even bringing that up and even used that in court today and did a good job at bringing that up. That, were you paid? Because what you said, the interview that you did, this isn't adding up. Who paid you? Were you bribed? Or were you threatened? Because I asked her, like, okay, you said that you were feeling pressure from who? From Tory? She said no. From his team? No. Then bitch, who pressuring you? Y'all. Oh, the prosecution. Yeah. So you willingly, on your own, came to talk to us. No pressure. Only you contact us and come talk to us in September. And tell us what you tell us. Just to come now and say this? But we pressured you. But ain't no money involved. Okay. All right. There has to be. Because if she doing all of this for free, Kelsey, you're a dumb bitch. Like, and I'm trying to keep it respectful. But Kelsey, girl, if you did all of this for free, you're a dumb bitch. Like, and that's just keeping it all the way froggy. Like, girl. Hopefully you got something cool, because, I mean, you did all this for free, girl. You're stupid. Girl, you're dumb. If you did all of this for free, because this is a lot to be doing for the free. Like, girl, that's why you would have to have been bribed, because, I mean, girl, I mean, I hope you were bribed. I mean, I hope so. Because, girl, you're risking a lot right now. And it's also why they keep why the lawyers and the prosecutors and whatnot keep reiterating, you know that immunity only goes so far, right? Because you just said this. And then it was the coherency that she had when how coherent she was when she was testifying the first day about everything that happened with Megan. We were hanging on her every word. It just flowed. But then when it gets to Tory, technical difficulty, shut down, like, no. No, that's deliberate. That was deliberate. So your memory was just fire yesterday when it came to talking about you and Meg. Because that's who you have the issue with. You don't have a problem with Tory. You don't have a problem with Tory, especially if the check clear. Especially if the check clear. What you got a problem with Tory for? Why am I scared of Tory? They asked Kelsey, did Tory pay for your legal services? Did Tory pay for this lawyer that you have right now? I don't know. I can't recall. That means that there's a chance, even if she's not stating yes, there's still a high probability that he paid for your attorney. Girl, all you had to say was no, but you can't, because it's in some way, shape, or form, it will probably come back that he is paying for your services. Because that would be perjuring yourself if you stated no and he is. Perjury. We asked you on the stand if Tory's paying for your legal services and you told us no. We looked into it and found out that he actually is. Perjury is what that would be. She didn't say no. She said she don't call. I remember. But he can pay for her lawyer, but nothing else. Okay. But we just supposed to. Because if she would have said no, I would have been feeling that. I would have been like, oh, okay. I'd be like, yeah, y'all need to stop saying that Tory paid her. He didn't pay her. He didn't pay for her attorneys, nothing like that. But she's leaving the door open that he possibly paid for her attorney. Okay, yeah. What else is he paying for over here? What else is Mr. Lanez funding? If he's funding this. So, because we still don't know if Tory's paying for her lawyer or not. We don't know that. We don't know. No idea. So I'm just leaving the door open. Again, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like Tory did do it to Megan. I do. The only thing that will change my mind is that surveillance footage, if it's good footage. If they can clearly see, the people in the courtroom, if they can clearly see who did what and had what, then if they say it was a female in the video and it was not Megan, hey, Tory didn't do it. I would come live and I say it. I'm like, oh, no, the surveillance footage came out, y'all. It wasn't Tory. It was actually Megan. I will say that, but I just don't feel like that's going to happen. I don't feel that way. I don't, because that would be enough proof right there for Tory to never have even went to trial in the first place. If they have video proof that he did not pow anybody, that it was a female who actually had the weapon, and the flash came from a female, what he in court for? What he in court for? When they have to declare that a mistrial? Why would they even let it get that far as a mistrial if that evidence has already been submitted into court? So it's not a surprise. That's not a surprise, that footage. They all know. They all know. It's easy to get things booted from the court that the court is not aware of. It's easy to do that. If you come like, oh, well, Your Honor, we got this evidence, that they're like, nope, that ain't on my sheet. I don't know if that objection, remove that. No, hell no. Honor, don't even let him approach the bench. Throw it out. Get rid of, we ain't seen it. Me and my team, we ain't heard about it. We ain't read it. We ain't researched it. Get rid of that. It's easy to get rid of that type of stuff. But the surveillance footage has been there. That's nothing new. It's been there. It's been there. So, yeah, I'm excited to see, because I feel like that could exonerate Tory. That's the only thing at this point I feel like can. What else can exonerate him? What else? Megan said he did it. Kelsey didn't say that he didn't do it, and she didn't say that he did either. So that's not helping Tory. So that, I mean, she did not say that Tory did it. She didn't. But she didn't say that he didn't either. So, yeah. And with that 80-minute interview being with the prosecutors and Kelsey in September, I wonder if it's played in court and they do decide to use it and let it be used as evidence so that the jurors are allowed to use it as well. When she is cross-examined, because they have to do a cross-examination. So when she's crossed, all of that's gonna come up. So will it be perjury now if she says she doesn't remember after playing it in court, like in front of her? Because before it was just them talking about the interview, the prosecutor and whatnot. They were just talking about it. But now it's actually going to be played. So she can't say, I don't remember. I just played it. How do you not remember that? That's you. Is this not you? Is this Kelsey Harris? Is this your voice? Yes. Do you recall saying this? She can't sit there and say, I don't remember. Girl, you just identified the fact that this is you. What? That they're going to destroy her. They are going to destroy her. I almost want to go down there now. I also like go, because I know they're going to get her. They are going to get her. She thought she was clever sitting up there, because again, she blindsided that prosecution. And she thought that she was clever. Of course, Tory's going to testify. He has to. He is definitely going to testify. Yes, he absolutely will be. He will. I think they saved him for last, though. But he will be testifying. Yes, and soon, because his attorneys are stating that Kelsey is the alleged power. So, and maybe I'm assuming that's when they're going to bring Tory up there, his defense team, and they're going to question him about it, because I'm sure he's the one who's putting the weapon in Kelsey's hands. So, yeah, he'll be up there. He absolutely will be. And I think that Tory will testify that Kelsey did it. That's just my opinion. I think that he's going to get up there and be like, yep, it was her. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. At this point, Jackson, I don't feel like he has a choice. I don't. I feel that it's better for Tory to get up there and speak for himself. I do. Out of all of these people, honestly, and I ain't putting nothing against Megan. Well, all of Megan's inconsistencies prior with this story to getting to court, Tory has more credibility than Kelsey and Megan, if you ask me. If you ask me, that's just how I'm feeling. He has more credibility than both of them at this point. And why I say that he has more credibility than them is because Tory just didn't go around talking about the situation like that. He didn't. He was smart, keeping his lips sealed. So with that being said, it's not much besides certain tweets, and a lot of those tweets and IG posts weren't even from his account. So they can't even hold that against him. I think what he's going to have a hard time going against is the text messages and the offering money to both women. The text messages of him apologizing, the phone calls of him apologizing, and the text messages between the women. I think he's going to have a hard time with that. I think that's where the monkey wrench is going to be thrown in. But overall, Tory hasn't said much. So It's not much. Again, Kelsey was just sitting with the prosecution team in September, running her mouth. Tory has not run his mouth with nobody. He ain't talked to no prosecution team, nothing. He's talked to no one. There's no interviews that they can go and use against Tory, or nothing like that. So that's what gives Tory credibility, because he's not a liar. A person can't say that Tory lied yet. He ain't got up there to say nothing to lie. So what he lying about? That can't be, we're not taking that. Again, he has rights. Everybody in this case, they have rights. So, yeah, I think as long as Tory doesn't get up there and act like Kelsey, I feel like it's going to be his word against Megan's. That's what it'll come down to. His word against Megan's. The only thing I don't see them just letting all three people walk away. I don't. Somebody has to be blamed. This case has too much attention for them to call a mistrial, because they could call one already, honestly. Somebody has to pay, and they will. Somebody has to pay. They will not just let all three of these Black people just walk out that court and nothing happens to no one. There's a lot of time, resources being used with this situation for them to just say, okay, mistrial, blah, blah, this, blah. No. Someone will pay for this. That's my opinion. And I think that Tory makes the best fall guy out of all three people. She's not on trial. Yeah, she's not on trial. Megan's not on trial either. So again, they're not going to let these three Black people, because again, this is who it has to do with. They're not about to just let them go scot-free. They're not. Somebody has to pay for this. So at the end of the day, I think that Megan will be, if it just comes down to Megan's testimony and Tory's testimony, they're going to believe Megan. That's my opinion. They're not just going to let Tory just walk away from this. They're not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I feel like even if they show in that video that it may not have been him that had the weapon and whatnot, they're still going to throw the book at Tory. Now, I don't think he's going to get the whole 20 years. No, I don't. I think it'll be way lowered. I think it'll be lowered. And I also don't think they'll deport him. But I do think that he'll do time. I do. Not a lot. But I do think that he'll do time. I do. Again, somebody has to pay for it. That's just how I look at it. But this is too big. It's just too big. It's too big. And not just to be like, okay, Tory, well, you said it was Kelsey. Kelsey came forward and lied and did all this other stuff. So we're going to hold her in contempt of court in perjuring herself. We're going to charge her with perjury. And then, sorry, Meg. I don't see that. I don't. If they were going to call a mistrial, they would have called one already. They're trying to fix this up. They're trying to clean it up. It's because it's already really dirty. If it was going to be a mistrial, it would be a mistrial already. They would already said that. No, or alluded to it. And that's something that's requested, a mistrial. Whether it's the prosecution that requests a mistrial or an attorney that does so. It's not just, oh, okay, well, all the information is incorrect, mistrial. Like it don't work like that. That's a request, a mistrial. And the judge has to agree. And also the jury as well, I believe. because the jury could deliberate and state the same thing, that there's not enough information to convict anyone, you know, or anything, so they would like to declare mistrial or request, you know, the jury has power, you know, as well. So again, but if it was going to be a mistrial, again, I feel like someone would have already requested that. Some attorney or prosecution, the defense team, somebody. And who wants a mistrial more than Tory? He's the one, again, on trial here. This is not Megan Pete versus Tory Lanez. This is the state of California versus Tory Lanez. Megan is a witness and a victim, and Kelsey is brought in as a witness, okay? The person that is on trial is Tory Lanez. Kelsey is not under any criminal charges. Megan is not under any criminal charges. And they also did not bring criminal charges up on anyone. Megan did not bring charges up on Tory. The state picked it up. Kelsey even stating in September that Tory allegedly put his hands on her, all of that, threatened her, and no charges were filed against Tory. None. And nor did she press any, because she definitely could have. And she chose not to. So again, why does Tory keep getting off scot-free? Because if it was up to Megan, love Megan dearly, but if it was up to her, he wouldn't have went to court, because she's not the reason he's there. The state of California is. They picked it up. And it's no different with Kelsey. Kelsey could have gotten charges brought on Tory for putting his hands on her and threatening her and all of that, and she didn't do that either. Neither one of them pressed charges on Tory or filed charges. Neither one. Just saying. Just saying. That's it. That's all. That's the truth. Yeah, neither one of these women filed charges. The state picked it up because of how public it became. Meg on live talking about it, a bunch of celebrity. It's just too big of a story for people to ignore. And she came out and said herself, he popped her. He dry popped her, is what she said. So then California decided to pick up the case and file charges against Tory. So yeah, we got to remember that. So again, if this is going to be a mistrial, who would want a mistrial more than Tory? Tory wants a mistrial. Absolutely. Another reason why Megan is devastated, I'm sure, is because there's a high probability that Tory's going to get off. And it would look better for Megan and her team if Tory was arrested. This does a lot for Megan's image. For the last 2 years, she's been building off of this. And if she loses this case by Tory being set scot-free or a mistrial, this looks bad for Megan's career. Like it's not good for her. It's not. Then everybody's gonna go around and say that she's a liar, you know, with the truth not fully getting out and what actually happened to her. She's saying that Tory did it. Tory's saying Kelsey did it. Kelsey's saying she don't know who did it. This don't look good for Megan. It does not. And I think that that's another reason why she's so embarrassed, is because this was supposed to go down without a problem. I go forward and I say that he did it. Kelsey comes forward and says that he did it. Shut and closed. That's pretty much all we need. You got the two witnesses that were there and the victim state that this happened. What can Tory say? What can he do? At that point, he's screwed. It's his word against two people that were there. You know, we got the text messages, we got this, we got that, we got the phone calls. You know, this is supposed to be open and shut type of situation, but with it not being open and shut, with this just getting, that's what I'm saying. I can understand why Megan is so embarrassed. You know, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Loud Gag said, but Kelsey's testimony raises reasonable doubt. I agree. I definitely agree. But her testimony does not incriminate Tory. It does not. Her testimony contradicts the victims. Because if the victim is stating that you were there, but what really messed up with Megan, and why I say that Kelsey was kind of smart, because when Megan got on the stand, Megan said that when she turned around after the powing, she only saw Tory. She said she did not see Kelsey. Kelsey goes on the stand and says that she was there, but she wasn't, obviously she wasn't in the vicinity, because she says she didn't see it and she don't know how it happened. And she states that she heard powings. So it doesn't mean that she heard it right there. It could have been down the street. You know, I mean, who knows? You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, and Kelsey did what fucking Megan did. Megan said, I didn't see her. I turned around and I just saw Tori. Then Kelsey comes and says, I wasn't right there. I didn't see it. I thought, I was told it was glass. I heard powings, like I heard it, but I didn't see nothing. So that aligns with what Megan says, because Megan said that Kelsey wasn't right there. That makes sense. That absolutely does. So at that point in time, it's between Tory and Megan. Kelsey allegedly wasn't even right there, which doesn't make sense because, you know, people swear, you know, with the GSR, you know, in order to have GSR, I guess you can only be by a weapon that's being popped out at that moment in time. Other than that, you know, people touching you and stuff like that, that has nothing to do with GSR, according to some people. You know, they feel like you have to have had the weapon and you have to pow it in order to have GSR on you, and that's not true. So, but yeah, that's what I said. It's just a mess because Megan's testimony with that part didn't help, because her story and Kelsey's story are completely different. Megan says she doesn't remember leaving the party with a first time. She says she remember leaving once. Kelsey comes and says, no, we left and we came back. It's not helping. I'm just saying, like, it's y'all's story. Y'all were together and y'all have two completely different stories. Like, how is that possible? You know, your stories should at least align. And their stories don't even align, like, at all. You know? So it's like, and then what's with that? You know, with their story not aligning. You know? It's just like, sheesh. It's like, wow. It's annoying, honestly. Because you would think that they would have similar story. Maybe not, because, you know, everybody's experience is different. You know, so you're not going to experience the same thing that somebody else did the way that they experienced it. Agreed. You and I could be sitting in the same place, watching the same thing, and both experience it different. You know, I can see it and it can make me cry. You can see it and it can make you laugh. You know, so how we explain it is going to be different, but we're still going to be explaining the same thing. Our reactions may be different, but what was taking place should be the same. And with Megan and Kelsey, they have completely different stories. You know, Megan's on the stand. I didn't sleep with Tory. There was nothing romantic going on with us. Kelsey gets on the stand. I found out in the car that she was sleeping with Tory because Tory told me. It's like, what? Like, what is going on? It's just like, what is happening? So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Definitely is. Yeah, it definitely is. So I don't know, Laugh Gags girl. I have no idea. And then when it comes to Kelsey, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe with her anymore. I was excited for Kelsey to say something because I feel like she would tell the truth. It's like, finally we get to hear. Well, I'm not going to say she was going to tell the truth. Whatever Kelsey was going to come forward and say, I feel like it was going to add to the other things that have been said. So it's kind of like hearing everybody's story and then putting it together and trying to find the truth. But everybody has different stories. Because his story is definitely going to be different from the both of theirs, because allegedly Tory's saying that Kelsey did it. So what? It's just like, so his testimony is going to really blow us. I know it's gonna blow me. I'm going to be like, what? So yeah, I definitely think Megan and Kelsey, Kelsey and Tory are in cahoots. They definitely are. They definitely are. Yes, that girl needs justice no matter what. I agree. I absolutely agree. Yvette says, do you think they will get a decision out of this mess? The only thing that I could see once we see the surveillance footage of the nearby home and Tory's testimony, I mean, depending on what's on that video, it's going to be between Kelsey and Megan. I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to the jury going over both of their testimonies. And I can see them going with Megan over Tory. That's just what it's given. And then they're switching jurors around. The defense team got a problem with another juror. It's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, I can definitely see them siding with Megan. She's a victim. I mean, I get that she was intoxicated, but I don't think that's gonna matter too much. I don't think that's gonna matter too much. I think the deliberation process is gonna take a while. I think that deliberation process is going to take a while with the jury. I don't think that it's going to be just like, boom, they right now. But I do think that they will take Megan's side over Tory's because she's the victim. She's the victim. So I can see that. I can. But I can also see them stating that, you know what, there's insufficient evidence here. So, Megan, y'all stories are completely different. Let them go. But if that happens, it's like, what was all of this for? What was all of this for? I mean, this is a huge trial. This isn't small. This big, you know, and they usually try to make examples out of people with these type of situations. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think it's I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we haven't seen and don't know yet, and a lot of, you know, there's a lot of information that's still to come. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. I wouldn't want to be a juror. I can tell you that much. I wouldn't want to be a juror. I would not want to be, because I would know because honestly, if I could see Tory doing it, but I could see him not doing it too. Just because of the inconsistencies on everybody's behalf, even Megan. She's been inconsistent. Kelsey has been inconsistent. I could, you know, it would be hard for me to be like, to literally, out of what we have right now, it would be hard for me to say for a fact that Tory did it, but that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards Tory due to the evidence, you know, that's backing certain things up. You know, him offering the money in the past, him apologizing profusely. Of course, if people don't even know that Megan got popped, why would Tory message someone and say, I'm sorry that I popped you? Why would he say that? Like, that's stupid. Like, nobody even knows you got popped. Like, why would I say that? I'm going to say sorry, but I'm not going to specify. I'm not doing that. What would I specify for? I even know that. I mean, I'd be like, okay, well, I said sorry. I said sorry. I mean, that's it. I want to say sorry. So, but yeah, it would be hard for me to just be like, he did it. With this, no, I would need more. I would need more. If I was a juror, I would need more. This is not enough for me to say, lock him up and throw away the key when things are just so fishy. The only thing that, because again, Megan said that it was Tory. I absolutely agree with her. I'm not gonna disagree with her, but I will say this. Megan, you were intoxicated, sweetie. You were very, very drunk. Okay. Okay. It was dark outside. Very dark. Y'all on side streets, stuff like that. You barely remember leaving. It's a lot of stuff you don't remember from that night, Megan. So it's hard for me to take that because her sober or basically sober, I'm agreeing with her. I'm just like, you know what? The girl said that happened, it happened. But I don't know. Then she said she was walking away in the back of the car. He popped out, and then she changed it, said it was the front. I'm just like, I don't know, Megan. Like, I don't know. I don't know. So it's hard for me to just, she's made it easy to doubt her. Okay. With all of the inconsistencies and stuff like that, she's made it easy to put doubt in people's mind about her story and what she thinks happened. Because you got to be able to remember a story to tell a story. And if you're that intoxicated, again, you got to remember highlights of the night. Somebody aiming a weapon at you and stuff, that is definitely a highlight. So that's what I'm saying. I could see if she say, like, you know what, I don't remember much from that night, but I remember when I turned around, I remember who I saw with that weapon, and it was you. It was Tory. I can't be like making you lying. I can't. But then when a person that was there, mainly pretty much, the only other person that have motive to have done this to you, Megan, states that they didn't do it, and you state that they didn't do it, but they also state that the person that you said did it, they're not saying that. Why aren't they saying that, Megan? They should be saying the same thing. They're not. So I hope it's enough. I mean, if Megan feels in her heart's heart, I know when I turned around, I saw Tory Lanez with that weapon. I'm not knocking her. I'm not going to tell that woman she's lying. I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to say she has to see why people will question her story. Why people don't, look at it as you're telling the 100% truth. We have no reason to question you. There's reasons to question you. The person you were with, the one who said even on her Instagram, I did not pow Megan, but I, however, was there. She didn't say Kelsey didn't say in that post that she saw who did it, even then. She just said that I was there. That's all. It doesn't mean that she was right there, or she could have been on the other side of the SUV walking down the street already, or who knows. So when she's saying that, because when Megan got out of the car, at that point in time when Megan got powed, she was walking away. She was leaving. So what if Kelsey was? Kelsey did say in September that Tory had the weapon and told both of them to get back in the car. So it sounds like Kelsey was out of the car too. I think both of them, they could have been going opposite directions. Megan walking this way, Kelsey walking that way. Tory feeling like he loses control over who he feel like he has control over. Tells Megan to come get back in the car, blah, blah, blah. She don't listen, pows at her. Kelsey walking on the other side of the street. She hear the powing, but don't exactly know what happened. She comes back and sees that, Megan may be injured. She's on the ground. And as she approaches, Tory hurts her in the process. Like, back up, don't touch her, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Or was it Kelsey? Was it Kelsey? When they pulled over and got out the car, was Tory and Megan outside arguing? Kelsey grabbed that weapon, pointed at Tory, shot her towards both their feet, but only Megan got hit. I don't know. We gonna see though. Well, I guess we'll see. But I don't know. I have no idea. But all things are plausible. All of them are plausible. They definitely are. Again, even with Kelsey, because I'm going to get out of here, even with Kelsey having immunity, she does not need immunity about, even if she did pop out Megan, she is not on trial. So again, even if Tory and his team, like when they do come forward and say that it was Kelsey, because they're not going to say it's Megan, when they come forward and said that it was Kelsey, either Kelsey or, because I mean, they could come through and throw a whole nother ricochet and say it was a bodyguard. I mean, then what? Tory and his team come forward and say it wasn't Tory, it was a bodyguard. But anyways, if she doesn't need immunity for that, I think she was requesting immunity for the September interviews, is what I'm getting, because she knew she was going to get up there and act like she ain't doing the interview that she did in September. That is what she wanted immunity for, if you ask me. She's not on trial, so again, even if she did pop out Megan, she's not being charged for it. Tory is. So it doesn't matter if Tory comes forward and says that, oh, Kelsey did it. She's not on trial. That would be a whole nother trial. They can't charge, even if they can't, even if they see her on the recording, they can't just charge her, like right then and there in court. No, this is a whole separate situation. A whole separate situation. So that would be a whole nother court, a whole nother, it would be completely different. That would be completely different. This is a case against Tory again. So him coming forward saying this person did this, that person did that, as long as it's not him, he's not going to come forward and say that he did it. Now, we know that for a fact. Tory is not going to say, I did it. No, he is not. When he get on that stand, he going to point a finger. He is. Or he could get up there and plead the fifth. Kelsey did. Or he could get up there and not remember. They don't have an interview of 80 minutes of him talking to no prosecutors and whatnot to hold it over his head or to hold against him. Again, Tory has not said much. He hasn't. He absolutely has not said much. So he has the most credibility at this point in time. You can call Tory a lot of things about this case, but a liar you can't call him. I mean, what is he lying about? He hasn't even spoken. What are you lying about? You can call Megan a liar if you want. I mean, I just feel like her not wanting to display that she was sleeping with Tory, or I just feel like that's her personal business. If she don't want to talk about it, she don't got to. When it comes to Kelsey, I feel like that's the only time that question matters, because Megan didn't hurt Megan. Somebody hurt Megan. So that's not motive for Megan to hurt Megan. That would be motive for someone else too, which would have been Kelsey or Tory. So yeah, that's just how it. But I have to get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you all so much for all of the super stickers. I saw all the super stickers and whatnot. So I thank you all so much. I'm sorry I couldn't get some because they were going fast and I was trying to stay on top to get the commentary out. But again, thank you for them all. Somebody says, you can call Tory a liar, LOL. He lied about Kelsey not being power. Well, yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, it's all in how you look at it. I'm just saying, like, since he's been in court, he hasn't spoke to lie about anything. So there's really nothing that they can use against Tory. I mean, but he did do an IG live when he was in all white. He did a live with that, and there was certain things that he did say, because I do remember him kind of co-signing that Kelsey was not the power. He did co-sign that. So, I mean, that's another thing too. Is that going to be brought up in court? It was not listed on the evidence for the jurors, so I don't know if that was brought in. I don't know if that was just the list that the jurors had of the information that's been collected thus far, because some things have been submitted, just not publicly. So it's like the courts know about it, and the defense team, and they know, but we don't know. Type of thing. We don't know. It's like about the 80-minute conversation Kelsey had with prosecutors. I had no idea. that she had wouldn't sat down and talked to them until they got to court. So again, there's a lot of stuff that we will find out as it goes. So I'm gonna be right there. So right here waiting. So I love you guys. A video will be dropping tomorrow on Shanquella. Maybe 2. I might just drop 2. But we will drop a video tomorrow on her. I will put the premiere up as soon as I get off of here so y'all can see what time it's going to premiere tomorrow. Again, I love you all. Justice for Shanquella and justice for Meg, because again, she was pop out. She was. Megan is a victim. She is. I mean, whether you like her or not, whether you think she's evil, whether you think she's not a good friend. I mean, no matter what you think, like that, the girl is still a victim. Now I've talked my ish, but at the end of the day, I am fair. I would look at every side of the coin, not just a piece of it and just, one day we over here and Tory did it. The next day we over here, Kelsey did it. The next day it just depends on what comes out. That's how we are. I'm fine being wrong, or, I come right forward. Like I said, if we find out that Tory did not do it, I will be one of the first people that will be live and saying, lock up Kelsey and throw away the key, if that's what we find out. But I mean, until then, we don't know. So we will keep watching, okay? But Megan does deserve justice. So I'm going to keep saying that because the girl do it. That's simple. But I love you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, oh my God, bye. Start over.
Flex.